Vegeta, what does the scouter say about their subscriber count?
It's 9,010.
Wait, so you mean?
Yes, Nappa. It's over.
It's over?
It's over 8,000!
What Wait, what?
There is a story so strange in its implications that it defies ordinary classification.
You are now listening to Black and Black Times Infinity. The guy formerly known as Prodigy is no longer with us. We are now calling him the Breaker of Oath. But yeah, we're coming live from Hayward. On my left, we have the one and only Kronos.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
And on my left, we have Stitch.
Chaos is not a ladder, it's a handicap ramp.
And that's all we have in the studio today. Ninjas, I don't know, he might have got dusted or something, I don't know.
He got snapped.
Yeah, and Breaker of Oath is no longer with us. He's been demoted. He's
in the dungeon.
Yeah.
You got to keep them promises.
Mm-hmm. I think Captain Marvel came for him a little bit. Had to smack him around.
All right. Listener of the week would be CHR Francisco. And first in the chat would be Samantha H. What's going on?
Oh, shit. What did she say?
Oh, shit. Samantha's all over him. She doesn't even know she can call Prodigy a BBC. His dick went limp when he broke his oath.
Oh,
yeah.
So good.
Damn.
Yeah.
Super
So
fan.
good.
Damn.
That's
I love
good.
it. I love it.
Wow.
All right. I don't know what Jesus. All right. What do you want to talk about first? We going to talk about them thrones or?
Well, we got an RIP on here.
Oh,
see who this is, because if there's nobody, I'm not going to read it.
Well, Old Ninja needs to talk about it. That's usually the one that does it.
Yeah.
And this person does not ring a bell to me. Sometimes they pick some really obscure people.
Yeah, this is some WWE fighter, Ashley Massaro.
Oh, she was young then.
Yeah, she was, how old was she? She was young.
What is she?
She hung herself, committed suicide, apparently.
Oh, I remember reading something. Oh, the wrestler.
Yeah. So R.I.P. to her. I think somebody else had passed away. The guy who does the intro to Dragon Ball Z.
I read that today.
Yeah, he passed away, I think, today or yesterday.
Yeah.
But somebody had said that he was also, exactly last year on the same date, the guy who did the intro voice on Dragon Ball Z in Mexico passed away. Which is weird, but let me see if I can find that guy's name real quick.
I think Freeze is coming for him, y'all.
Oh, right? Somebody like collect them balls and get them to come back.
Fucked up.
That's a fucking shame, though. Yeah, she was, damn, she's my age. She would have turned 40 in a couple days.
Was she still with WWE, like actively wrestling, or did she like sort of like retire or quit?
Yeah, she says active until 2019, so.
Damn.
Oh, wait, no, independent circuit. Okay, so maybe she's not there anymore.
Okay.
Trying to go through this.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she was in WWE. That's fucked up. Anyway, she had a class action lawsuit against WWE, so yeah, it definitely was not in there anymore. But yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah, I can't find the guy who did the Dragon Ball intro voice. All right, where we go, guys?
Let's move on to something happier. Jesus Christ, that's depressing. You want to go to them thrones, or you want to go somewhere else? Everybody watch them thrones, right?
Oh yeah.
Let's go to them
Guys,
thrones.
go for
It's the
it.
finale.
Yeah, it was the finale.
It's all done. It's over with. The 8 year. Was it 8 year? 10 year?
8 seasons, 10 years.
10-year
altogether,
run of Game of Thrones. We invested a decade of our lives to that bomb-ass intro song and the cool graphics that started off and everything.
I'm glad you said that, because people are saying that they wasted 10 years. I'm like, you definitely didn't waste 10 years.
They're living in the immediate moment of just being so upset about whatever.
Maybe like 2 hours of their life.
Yeah.
It's wasted.
But it was. So what are your guys' thoughts on the I guess the episode and then the series in general?
So I mean, the episode, I enjoyed the episode. I mean, most people didn't like the season for some reason. I think if they wouldn't have said that George R. R. Martin didn't write the season, people would have just been like, oh, okay. You know, I mean, yeah, obviously it was a little faster paced than usual, but I think they gave a lot of shit because the two directors wrote it, and they just weren't happy with that fact that it was not George R. R. Martin, which is it's kind of fucked up. I think that there was a lot of stuff that they used from his writings that directly translated into the season, even the last episode, stuff that seemed like it fit to me. It just happened a little bit too quickly. I think the pacing was off for sure. But as far as like the story that was told, I was not disappointed. You know, the stuff that happened with, you know, Daenerys Targaryen didn't seem like some shit out of left field.
Yeah.
You know?
If we sort of think back on it, this is a historical TV show in terms of the viewership, first of all. I mean, this thing was doing, what, 14 million or something like that?
The last season did 40 million.
Okay.
40 million viewers.
Yeah.
That's insane.
So, I mean, we grew up with plenty of TV shows that were pretty historic in terms of their runs. I mean, before our time, everyone seemed to watch MASH and tuned in for that last episode, but we've had a great run of TV shows with The Sopranos that everyone remembers for being a great show and then having a ending, and then same thing with Breaking Bad. I'm a huge fan of The Wire, but this is going to be another one of those TV shows that everyone, we can sort of, when we look back on this decade and time period,
goes down in history.
Yeah, it's like, oh, remember the 80s, remember the 90s, you can remember this point in time, and everyone talk about, oh yeah, Game of Thrones, and how everyone sort of stopped what they were doing and would talk about it at the water cooler on Monday.
Well, I mean, you couldn't escape it. Their marketing was so good. I mean, you saw Game of Thrones fucking everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, there's a pop-up restaurant in San Francisco right now.
Yeah, they incorporated, even like the NBA, they do like Game of Zones and stuff like that. They always do some sort of spin-off and make references on any sort of aspect of everything.
But then also like for like baseball games, because then I think the Giants had a Game of Thrones first, like 10,000 people got like some bobblehead or something like that.
I have like 2 of those and everything. They do it like every year almost.
I'm actually amazed that a show that's based upon like basically like D&D touched so many people in this way, and that so many people watched it, because this is like some serious nerd shit, you know, back in like the previous to the 2000s. This is just nerd. I'm not gonna watch that stupid nerd shit. Yeah. You know, it's just like, when have you seen like a show or a movie about dragons and shit that did well?
Yeah,
it's pretty rare.
Yeah,
you know?
wrapped up. They had sci-fi, they had sex, they had violence, just some scandalous backstabbing shit. So it was all of our greedy vices that we sort of love. They wrapped up into a good storytelling show. And I mean that, and people just loved it.
Yeah, it was good. I mean, they took a lot of good elements from everything. You know what's funny is, I remember a couple years ago, somebody was complaining about how the show is about white privilege, and they were mad about like the slaves being all black and blah blah blah. And so I was actually watching a video today with George R. R. Martin talking about people's complaints about that stuff, and he said that he put it so well that it was kind of insane, because he was saying that, well, it's basically based upon like, so the books and the show are a little bit different, and he said he wanted the show to seem like, or the in the books, the slaves that were in the town where the Unsullied were, they weren't all black, right? But the thing is that where they filmed it was in Morocco, and so when they asked for extras, like, they got Moroccan extras, because you only pay, you know, extras like $30 a day. Yeah. So obviously you're not gonna fucking fly in extras into Morocco to have like diverse, like you can't do that. There's little to no diversity in Morocco like that. And then he was saying that there was the same thing, but nobody really seemed to notice with the Dothraki. If you look in like the first series, the first time you see the Dothraki, if you look in the background, there's actually a bunch of white dudes, because where they filmed it was in Belfast. And so they said like all the extras, like all they said was basically, do you have long hair and can you ride a horse? And it's in Belfast, you know, it's like there's a bunch of white people, but nobody noticed that shit like whatsoever.
Yeah, I don't remember what they look like. I've noticed as more recently and everything that what they look like, but I can't remember exactly what they look like. But that's a really valid point.
People just remember Khal Drogo and like his right hand.
That's all I remembered.
But nobody remembers everybody else. And he was saying, stuff like that was basically came down to logistics with where they were filming, because you're not gonna, like I said, you're not gonna fly in an extra for like a day's worth of work. You know, that doesn't make any feasible. The budget was already insane.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't make any sense.
Yeah.
But in the books, I guess it wasn't like that.
What's interesting, like I'm looking at the Nielsen Media research status for Game of Thrones, and like you can see the numbers just went up every season. Like they started off season 1, episode 1 was 2.2 million, and then at the end they were up at 14 million.
Yeah, I didn't even.
That's a huge ass fucking growth.
I didn't watch the first season until season 2 started, and everyone was all hyped about it. And I remember I was like, all right, I mean they're gonna watch Spartacus or this Game of Thrones stuff. I was like, I'll just watch one episode of each. I watched one episode of Spartacus. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Let me watch one episode of Game of Thrones. And homeboy gets pushed out the window. I was like, I need to see what happened next.
Yeah.
And then I got hooked.
Yeah. The end of season 1, where Ned Stark is his head chopped off. I was like, that was the main. How the fuck is that? I was like,
I was like, I need to watch what happened season 2 now. It was done really, really well.
It'd be like if you were watching Breaking Bad and Heisenberg he got shot in the face at the end of season 1. It's like, what the fuck?
Where do we go from here? Old Ninja just walked up in here, late as fuck. What we were talking about, because I don't know if you heard about it, but we were going over our Game of Thrones wrap up. We're talking about your thoughts on the seasons in general, like the whole show run. We haven't gotten into the last episode yet, but what were your thoughts on the whole entire run for Game of Thrones?
Overall?
Yes.
When was the last time there's been like a fantasy TV series that dealt with medieval?
Yeah, that's what Kronos was saying. It's like
there's very few that I know. I know there's like
rare.
There was one on the CW. And
Xena?
No, not Xena. There was Rain. But it didn't have magic.
It didn't do well.
Yeah. Well, it lasted.
It didn't have this kind of budget.
It didn't have this kind of budget, but it lasted like 4 or 5 seasons.
Yeah, but it didn't do well.
And then
by any stretch of the means,
there was the one I think either you or Lila was watching. It was on MTV, the Chronicles of
Shannara Chronicles.
Shannara Chronicles.
I watched that,
But
yeah, that's always on MTV, and that nowhere near on this level.
Exactly. So we haven't had anything like most fantasy films that I've seen. We're not talking. They weren't calling people cunts. They weren't titties and all kinds of rapid fucking. There wasn't incest like that. It was definitely new and different, and there was a lot of shock and awe that I think that just kept bringing people back.
Yeah,
and I think it was interesting for HBO because they kept pulling out like I guess cutting edge or really envelope pushing shows, starting with The Sopranos, which everyone keeps talking about. There was Sopranos. There was
before Sopranos. I mean, you had Oz.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never seen Oz. Yeah, there was Oz, The Wire. No, I've never seen Oz or The Wire.
Oh God.
Yeah, so there was those two. There was also the one about the family at the funeral home.
6 Feet Under.
Yes, that one. There's been, and each time they usually pick shows that I would think wouldn't do well, because I'm like, okay, The Sopranos, Mafia Family, there's probably a dozen shows like that, and turns out to be one of the most talked about shows out there. A funeral home family no one talked about, but it was super controversial at the time, and there was a lot of shit going on with it. The Wire apparently changed television according to people that love the show. This is
True Blood.
Another one.
True Blood was up there too. Everyone forgets about that shit because the last couple seasons kind of fell off, but True Blood was insane.
It had a whole lot of fucking in that too.
It was like one of the reasons why the Oathbreaker likes it is there was sex and gore mixed together, and like you only really see that in like hentai anime. And to have a reputable cable network with semi-familiar stars doing this kind of shit was like mind-boggling.
I remember watching True Blood when I was in Iraq. Exactly. I got it when I was in Iraq. And the first episode where the guy that looks like a hillbilly, he was like, first I'm gonna fuck you, then I'm gonna eat you. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, all right, I'm watching this show.
Yeah, like there's also the chick that was like, she's like suspended from the ceiling and this vampire's like rapidly fucking her. And I was like wondering what the hell was going on, and they were filming it, and the chick was watching it later because I thought he killed her, but they were just having sex, and they were showing you the insight to this weird like horror erotic show, and it just got crazier and crazier.
Yeah, True Blood, the first season of True Blood was the best season. Everything else kind of it started to go downhill in the last season. Was like, what the fuck?
Actually, the season with the Maynard was really fucking good. The season
good,
2 or 3, I think. That was really crazy reception.
All right, I kind of went off the train there. Sorry, went off the rails. Back to Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
yeah.
So this episode then.
Oh, we're going through it.
Okay.
Right.
So pretty much, we start off. Tyrion is walking through the rubble. He's seeing people just. He walks by that guy that's just crispy and everything, and it's just like somber and everything. He goes down to the crypt where he told Jaime to sort of try to escape from.
Oh, let's pause real quick. So that guy that was like alive but like walking, that kind of goes back to like when Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Like, there was a lot of stories about that where like they were basically literally the Walking Dead because they got blown the fuck up, but their body was moving, but they were already dead, and they were just no clothes on, totally naked, just moving, trying to get away, but they were dead.
Yeah,
and that's basically what that guy was.
Really good callback. Yeah. He goes down to the crypt area where he told Jaime to bring Cersei and escape by boat. Ironically, it's once he gets through the little blocked off passage and everything, it's pretty neat down there, except for the one spot where Cersei and Jaime were standing. If they had to just move maybe 10 feet to the right, they would have been all right, and they maybe would have survived. But
wait, what did Black Dynamite say when he got shot? He thought if that motherfucker was 5 inches to the right, I would have missed my black ass.
Yeah.
So they're confirmed dead and everything. At first, I was like, oh, are they gonna try to pull some crazy shit? Because but no.
I thought he might have survived.
Yeah, I was like, oh god, what are they gonna try to do here? But no, he's dead.
Well, she's dead. That's more importantly, Cersei was dead.
Yes.
Because I think one of the reasons that people were disappointed is that her uppins didn't come. Like she wasn't tortured.
Yeah.
And
she still looked decent.
Yeah.
For getting bricks falling on her head and shit like
they
that.
didn't look crushed.
Her skull didn't look caved in.
I wanted to see the deflated basketball. When they get crushed.
Concave skull. Then we go to Jon Snow is sort of walking through and runs into some Gold Company soldiers that are pretty much about to get executed by Grey Worm. He's like, whoa, what's going on here? And Grey Worm is just like, they got to die. And what's the guy's name?
Missandei dead. They did.
Davos?
Davos is like, these guys are already defeated. How much more defeated? And he's like, we got orders. He questions the orders. He's like, well, what were your orders? And she says, kill everybody that whatever rides for Cersei. And so he's like, well, let me go talk to the queen first. And walks off. They still kill him anyways.
Yeah, well, there was a little Mexican standoff with them because Jon grabs Grey Worm's arm, and Grey Worm's the Unsullied ready their spears in the side with Jon.
Yeah.
They ready their spears.
They're about to turn him into a pincushion.
And I was like, oh.
I wonder who would win that fight, Grey Worm or Jon Snow.
They should have been trial by combat. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, that's what some people are talking about. Well, that applies to later, but yeah.
So then we go to the Daenerys inauguration victory parade. She's on the steps and everything. All Unsullied are there, and in cinematography. It looked really good and everything, especially when the dragon gets down behind her. I was like, okay, that's a pretty good looking photo and everything like that.
Well, it was also the stark differences between her two armies. Like the Dothraki are all not in formation, just running around screaming and shit. And the Unsullied are perfectly in formation.
Yeah, just stomping.
Yeah.
Arya's in the background saying, this bitch here. And Daenerys starts to give her Hitler speech.
Oh, damn. God damn.
I mean, it looked like a Führer just fucking chanting out all this crazy shit in her native tongue, and crowd stomping and everything. And
well, once she said basically we're gonna kill everybody.
We're going to
we're going to liberate.
Yeah, we're going to liberate all these places that are already liberated.
Yeah, we're going to liberate Winterfell. We're going to liberate Dorne. We're going to liberate the Iron Islands. We're going to liberate somebody else.
It's so funny because
will you fight with me?
I heard somebody describe it best or whatever, and I don't ever normally drop this word, but it's like, you be speaking Spanish, but I know nigger when I hear it. That's what happened. That's what happened when Jon Snow heard Winterfell. He's like, what? Because he didn't understand what was said. But she's marching all these places and like Winterfell. Say what about Winterfell? What you gonna do? We go to all these places and kind of raised an eyebrow and stuff, and the whole crowd was chanting and cheering. She's on this mission. And Tyrion walks up into the parade a little bit late, and I didn't know what his motivation. I thought he was going to just interrupt the whole fucking thing, maybe try to stab her, do something crazy out of pocket.
If he tried to stab her, he would have instantly.
Oh yeah, he would have been fucked up. But he just looked like he was just. That was the most pissed off we had pretty much seen him the entire.
No. Tywin, he's the most pissed off you ever seen him, or Joffrey.
I don't think he was pissed off at John. He was pissed off at his father.
Shit out of that dude.
He was pissed off at his father for sure.
He slapped the shit out of Joffrey.
I forgot about it.
I think he was more annoyed with Joffrey than pissed.
No, when Shay came through.
When Shay came through, after he found out that his father fucked Shay, he killed his father and he killed Shay.
Good point. After she's done with her speech, she looks at him and she's like, yeah, you fucked me over again. And that's why last week I was like, he shouldn't even show up at the fucking thing because he knows he's toast. They immediately, he takes off his hand to the king thing, throws it off because she's like, oh, you betrayed me, you committed treason. And he's like, bitch, you burned down the fucking city. Or whatever, what you talking about? Betrayal. Yeah, women and children. So she cuffs him up, brings him back to the prison, which was weird for me because she's all about fucking instant punishment now. Yeah. And all of a sudden she's like, all right, we're going to put pause on this and we're going to wait.
Well, she still got to finish her victory lap.
Then Arya shows up next to Jon.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah, pulls her...
because when we first see her, she's down at the bottom of the steps in the crowd.
She's got teleportation. She's Nightcrawler.
The speech was like, maybe 90 seconds. And then Tyrion's thing was maybe another 30 seconds. And as soon as Jon turns around, Arya's right there. She's like, hey.
She's all, I am very sneaky.
She teleported up all those big-ass steps and everything and was just right there. So they take him away and everything. She gives Jon a look like...
Sorry, they arrest Tyrion.
Yeah.
That's what he said.
Yeah, so they take him away. And Jon is sort of confused about what the fuck's going on. He goes and speaks with Tyrion.
Well, we need to point out what Arya says to Jon.
Oh, I know a killer. Important. Yeah. She says, I know a killer when I see one. That bitch crazy.
And she knows who you are.
Yeah,
you are a threat.
Yeah, you the only thing stopping her from fucking checkmating everything. Which she's right. Then Jon Snow talks to Tyrion in his cell. They have a really good conversation. This was like I was on like the edge of my couch watching this whole conversation between those two because I was like, God damn it, Jon Snow, listen to fucking what the fuck he's saying, because he's like, no, she's my queen, blah 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 blah, and then he finally started to hit the notes. He's like, what about your sisters? And it finally started to maybe click in his head. He's like, oh yeah, I got family that she probably gonna fuck up too. The Sansa ain't gonna bend no knee.
I think it was more when Tyrion was like, if that were you in her position, would you have done the same? And he calls him out. Yeah. He's like, you don't want to say it out loud because you know it's treason.
He's like bullshit.
He's like, I know what you could. We both know what you would have done.
Yeah.
You just don't want to say it.
Yeah. So that whole conversation gets done. Jon Snow takes a walk to go meet up with Daenerys. Badass dragon is in stealth mode. It's like in Skyrim when you're walking through and then the big old eyeball comes up and the dragon wakes up. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, it was covered in snow.
Yeah,
it's all like it gets
snow,
up,
ash mixture, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, it gets up and it's like, who the fuck is you? Oh, you all right?
He's
Yeah,
like,
all right, you cool.
You can pass. It's like a big ass Cerberus or whatever. And then tries to have a conversation with Daenerys. Daenerys is on that fucking just power tripping. Well, before he even gets there, she's approaching the throne, rubs the throne, and I was like, oh bitch, don't sit on it. I'd be mad because there were like Vegas bets on who's actually going to sit in Iron Throne.
Yeah.
Luckily nobody sat on it, so I guess maybe it was just an even push.
There's all kind of bets.
Yeah,
all kind, like who would survive the Battle of Winterfell, who gets the Iron Throne, who survives to the end, all kind of shit.
And so she's eyeing the throne, touches it, and then we see Jon Snow walk in the background. Now, if this was, and I got in a debate with somebody about Sopranos versus Game of Thrones ending. If this was The Sopranos, it would have just faded to black right there.
Yeah.
And there would have been people would have been pissed. And Jon Snow comes up, tries to talk some sense into her about what we're gonna do and stuff.
John gives her an out.
He's like, you need to free Tyrion, and she's like, nah, he's my prisoner. He committed treason, etc., etc. She wasn't trying to hear it. And she starts going off narrating about her evil speech about we gonna do this, we gonna liberate all these places, you and me together. They don't have a choice.
Let's make some Cyclops babies.
Yeah, you and me together, we gonna rule the world. And John was like, man, this bitch crazy. She going too far.
But he gave her an out. He asked her specific questions like, what about the people? I saw there were thousands of people. There's women. There's children. You burnt them, and she's like, eh.
He started, trying to use crazy logic and be like, Cersei used them as a weapon, and
she used them as a shield.
Yeah,
I blew through it.
She was all, I had a final solution.
Yeah,
basically
breaking the wheel and all that shit.
She's all, help me break the wheel.
Yeah,
but actually, the breaking the wheel part actually comes
way later.
Comes in again in the episode. So
so she was set on it.
So she presses her pussy against John's dick, starts making out. Then John pulls out that Raphael sigh and just stabs it in the fucking back.
Wasn't it? It's a dirk, right?
Yeah, it was a dagger. But I just thought it would be funnier if it was a sigh. Raphael's sigh.
Wait, was it a sigh? I guess it was.
You acting like you watched it.
Well, no, I'm talking about Raphael. If his weapon was a sigh.
He used his sighs. Yes, that's what's famous. Same thing as Electra.
So she starts bleeding from the mouth, doesn't really say anything. Then Drogon's like, what? Something going on. And came upstairs to the balcony. He was like, Mama!
Nudging her and shit.
Nudging her and shit. And then Dragon got pissed, lit fire to the throne. And then
doesn't burn John.
To me, he was like, all right, Dad, it's just me and you. And Drogon went off to go hide the body. But then stupid ass Jon Snow, I guess, snitched on himself because he could have just done like some.
Hold on, let's pause real quick. So I think there was like symbolism in like that scene where he burned down the throne, because I felt that he was burned down the throne because that's what killed her was the throne, not necessarily John, because she wanted that throne so bad that she would do anything to fucking get it.
She did.
Creating women and children, so he burned that fucking throne down. And I don't think I think that Drogon probably knew this. If he tried to light him on fire, he wouldn't burn.
Yeah, I think everyone was waiting to see if that he could have ate him.
I'm sure the dragon knows his family.
Yeah.
He could have ate him.
Yeah, the dragon knows his family.
But I think the dragons. Someone said that the Targaryens are magically linked to the dragons. Someone said it's written somewhere or talked about in some. I don't know. I have no idea.
There's a lot of book stuff that I just don't really know fully, and they touched on, but never really.
I got a theory though. I bet that she's gonna come back as the next fucking Night Queen, because I'm pretty sure that the Night King was a Targaryen as well. And he got flown up to fucking north somewhere, and all of a sudden he became the Night King. And I think the same thing's gonna happen to her in a spinoff, and she's gonna be like the main villain again. Her coming back as the Night Queen.
Wow, that'd be interesting.
Yeah. So
new version of Whites come back.
Drogon goes to hide off the body and everything, picks it up with his claw, flies away. I thought Jon Snow could have just done like a Weekend at Bernie's thing and put some glasses on Daenerys. Just been like, I don't know what happened. She was here just fine.
Dragon took her and left. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now this is where it gets a little bit crazy for me and everything, because essentially Daenerys is dead. Now we just got a lot of politicking and talking and stuff. We I guess do we know how much time passes?
It's at least a few weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least, because they talk about, you see the way Tyrion looks and the way Jon looks, and someone mentions after they're talking about Tyrion, and he's being brought to the Dragon's Keep, which is basically where we saw them bring a White Walker to Cersei the first time. And so when they bring Tyrion out, they're saying, after spending weeks in the hole or whatever, they mentioned the way he looks. So I was like, he's been there for weeks.
Well, first of all, how does Tyrion even survive that long? When he was pretty much, you supposed to be executed in the hour, on the hour.
She's dead. There's no queen to command.
Well, next in charge would be the god of the king of war or whatever Grey Worm was. And Grey
Worm is a soldier, not anyone of like high power, high blood.
Well, she made him high power. Technically, you're right.
He's Lord Commander of the army, but that's like having.
Yeah, he's not. He shouldn't have that kind of power.
Yeah, that's the same thing as the Lord Commander of the King's Guard. They don't govern.
Well, I think who else would it have been that could have been like, nope, we need to have a trial now.
This is a problem. Their queen is gone. Most of the lords and ladies are gone. So now this is where the wheel is completely broken.
Well, I think the main reason why is because they had the multiple armies outside the gates. Like, if you kill these motherfuckers, there's gonna be some problems.
Yeah,
especially with Jon.
Yeah,
So-
especially with Jon. The army. Sansa even says the armies of the north are at the gate.
Well,
Jon dies, we're coming in.
Well, I think, initially, I mean, we don't see what happens, like, when they find out that she's dead. I mean, we just fast forward to 3 weeks later, but I find it hard to believe that Grey Worm wouldn't have been, like, off with this dude's fucking head. He just murdered Queen Daenerys or whatever. Especially with how he was he was just slaughtering soldiers at will.
I don't think he wasn't given the specific order, at least that
I don't
we
think
are
you
not
need
seeing.
to give a specific order. You kill the
you
queen.
said-
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
the guy that's been taking orders his whole life, though.
Yeah, he doesn't make this. He doesn't
I
really
understand
make
where you're coming
decisions
from,
on the shit.
Yeah.
So the hierarchy's gone. The head of the snake is gone.
I don't know.
Pretty much what was going on.
Well, then who made the decision to throw him in prison then?
He was already in prison.
No, John. We'll
John
go with
in
John also because both those how they just magically just end up. Well, how John ends up in prison and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, did John just walk into prison, turn the key, and be like, all right, I did this or whatever. I'm in jail now.
Well, I have no idea how to speak on it. There's probably a few theories. Like they're like, well, if Tyrion's in prison, Jon's gonna be in prison.
We could just.
They could have done combat. He could have fought.
We could sum it up with they fucked up with the pacing.
Yeah.
I mean, they could have explained it better. I mean, you're totally right. This season could have been stretched out to easily 3 seasons.
Yeah.
Easily 3 seasons.
So they have the whole pretty much all the lords of Westeros sitting down in the arena or whatever.
The dragon pit.
Yeah, where they brought the White Walker the one time and out the box and stuff.
Well, I've been there before, too. It's actually where they do a lot of fighting.
Yeah,
It's like the Coliseum.
The arena thing.
It's where
King's Landing Arena.
Yeah, it's
Mountain and the Viper fought.
Well, it's actually where the Mountain and the Hound fought as well.
Yes.
Okay, yes.
They did.
Yeah.
And they're trying to figure out what the fuck to do. Sam brings up democracy, which gets laughed at.
Yeah.
Oh, we just gonna let horses vote now, dogs or whatever. I was like, oh shit, I see what you did there.
Sit your pudgy ass down.
Damn.
With your fucking bottle of water behind your foot.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
People are pointing that shit out like, yeah, they make mistakes. Shit happens in a lot of shows and movies.
But for it to happen like 2 episodes in a row,
Yeah, it's happens a lot.
Yeah. So they get in this whole talking battle, and essentially Tyrion's brought out as prisoner. He starts talking. Grey Worm's like, "Shut the fuck up! You don't get a say here." And he's like, "I'm right, but I'm gonna keep talking." And he essentially gets to pick the fucking king of Westeros as the prisoner.
People voted though. I mean, they could have said no.
Someone tells you to shut the fuck up. You're a prisoner. You don't get to just
Wait.
If you think you're already gonna die anyway, I mean, like, what's
Yeah.
he gonna do?
Sansa.
might as well go out hard.
Yeah, Sansa told her uncle to shut the fuck up.
yeah, but
And the best one was Arya telling that one chick,
Ooh,
shut the fuck up, but she's gonna fucking slash your throat.
Slit your throat.
yeah,
Yeah.
Keep my brother's name out your mouth.
Squid Queen. Yeah, Yara.
over there.
Yara.
Yep. Theon's older sister? Younger sister?
And Tyrion makes the fucking decision that fucking Brian has the fucking best stories or can tell the best stories.
Yes, he has the
has all
history
the
of men.
He has all the history.
And he can see the past, present, and future, apparently.
Yeah. And he gets fucking voted as king and everything. People vote on it. Sansa's like, nah, fuck that. My queen, Sansa, is like, we gonna run our own shit. We gonna be independent. And it's kind of weird that everyone else was like, oh, that's cool. All right, well, we're gonna just bend down to the knees for you. And everyone else is gonna be like, well, we want to be independent too, especially like Yara on her fucking island. Like, why does she feel like she needs to answer to people on this own fucking...
Well, one of the reasons why is because if you're an island nation, it's difficult to have favorable trades if you're not in part of a union. So that's like basic economics.
Well, I think, didn't she say, I think there was some sort of where they wanted to be their own fucking sort of sovereign kind of whatever thing. I think if I remember correctly, I'd have to...
Awesome. I know she talked about having multiple unions. If she wasn't going to link up with another seaworthy nation, then they were going to link up with someone else. And that's if Cersei didn't comply with what their deals or whatnot. But now that she gets a say, and the wheel has been broken, now there are the 6 realms one independent.
Yeah, it's just weird that all other countries are like, no, we don't want to be independent as
that's
well.
all-
Like
that's
Dorne, like why couldn't Dorne just be like, well, we want to do our own shit. We're tired of dealing with your bullshit or whatever. Because Dorne really wasn't even involved really in this war, except the Sand Snakes
Not
got
in the
fucking.
war.
So it's like, well, we don't want to be dealing with your petty shit. Sort of like Sansa was like, y'all deal with your petty shit. We want to just be by ourselves.
Well, as you know, most of the show, they rely a lot on their history. A lot of their bonds are words based on their forefathers. The North got fucked over the most throughout all 8 seasons. They've been conquered, like, I think twice in 8 seasons, and then reclaimed in the 7th. So, them, especially what she went through, they didn't want, she's been done answering to tyrants or whatnot, but the rest of the realm has followed suit, and that's what they've gone through as their historic oaths to the chair, pretty much. But now there's no chair.
So they all vote on this, aye. And then they figure out, well, what are we going to do with Jon Snow? And then I get...
Oh, Sansa also doesn't vote for her brother to be king.
Yeah, well, somehow she knows that he can't get a boner and can't fucking have kids, which is... I guess... Oh, he's paralyzed.
Yeah, paralyzed from the waist down.
Paraplegic.
Yeah.
She said he has no cock.
Yeah, so he can't marry, can't do this, blah blah blah, but it's whatever. And Bran pretty much gives the reveal that, oh, I knew this was gonna happen the entire fucking time.
He's not why
Makes him a piece of shit.
Yes.
Makes him a super piece of shit.
Yes and no.
I don't know. That rubbed me kind of the wrong way.
Well, I'll quote Dr. Strange. Dr. Strange. If I tell you what happens, it won't happen.
Well, that was the only
But that
way.
was the only. It was to benefit him, not to save the fucking realm or whatever. I mean,
Is it gonna benefit him though? Like he just wanted to be the three-eyed raven. Now
And
he's gotta do a bunch
he
of
can't
bullshit.
fuck. He can't fuck.
well, that's what he said he wanted to be, but then he was like, "This is why I came here to be the king."
I mean, he can be both. He'll be the first of someone with these weird powers to rule over.
Well, I think it's funny
such
that
realms.
he picked the hand of the king to be Tyrion once again, who's taken so many fucking L's, like recently. It's been kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, you got a weird fucking court of people.
But
even
Bran says that even Tyrion admits that he's made mistakes. He said he'd be the worst hand, and he said now you can atone for your mistakes by being my hand and be better.
So they send off Jon to the fucking wall again.
To the Night Watch.
To the Night Watch to fucking do what?
And he just kept on walking. He was like, "Okay, I'm at the wall.
Yeah.
Guess I'm going to the
Peace out.
fucking
Yeah.
wildlings now."
It's so fucked up that they just like they're fine with Jon being punished in this whole fucking thing.
Was it
Like
punishment though? Is it punishment?
Well, I mean, at the time it sort of was. I mean,
It's like his dad said, being a man of the Night Watch is actual an honor. You are defending the
They
realm.
had to though. I mean, if they didn't, both the Dothraki and the Unsullied would have fucking tore down the house.
the Dothraki wasn't even at the fucking king picking ceremony.
Well, even
they were just riding
with
around
that-
their circle.
The Unsullied alone would wreak havoc if
They were having a
there was no
sideshow.
punishment.
It'd have been weird. It would have been weird, and there would have been unrest, and there just would have been another war with just more people dead. And Jon, over the course of the series, said he didn't
So then
want
you're
it.
saying that Grey Worm is the leader now?
No.
So who would have provoked the war?
They would have just either
Under whose command?
Well, no, Gordon was the leader of the Unsullied for sure.
Okay.
yeah, but not in a ruling party. He doesn't have political pull. He doesn't he wasn't at the sitting. Well, he was at the sitting, but he didn't vote.
Right. So if they're like, yeah, Jon Snow's gonna come back to fucking Winterfell.
He's not going to Winterfell. He's going to the Night Watch.
Well, if they had said that, then what position was he to be like, no, that's fucked up?
I don't know if he'd even said that. Even if he did, you really think they would have counted Grey Worm's word? No.
And then,
the Unsullied probably would have tried to sack Winterfell.
It would have to be under Grey Worm's fucking call.
But Grey Worm would have
Grey
said,
Worm doesn't care about I don't even think Grey Worm knows what the fucking Night Watch is.
He probably doesn't.
So
that's even better. He probably doesn't even know which direction it is.
So he's gonna be cool with that. Yeah, send him off to fucking this place. That sounds cool.
He made the decision to go to Nath.
That's because he wanted to go live with his
She's dead.
With brown people.
Yeah.
That's all he wanted. It's like,
Yeah.
Well,
So yeah.
I mean, people brought up that Missandei in the Battle of Winterfell brought up that they have no protectors.
Yeah,
And that they were going to retire. He offered her to retire back to.
That's fine. That's
their
cool
home.
with that. But I just don't see and why they had this invested interest in punishing Jon when Jon literally saved the fucking world.
I don't think John's Night Watch is punishment.
yeah, he saved the world, but at the same time, keeping him there would have caused way too much like strife between the Unsullied and potentially the Dothraki.
And not only that, probably
They even talked about it. Like, there's no way you let a guy that just literally killed the queen of those two groups and just let him have no punishment. So,
And you were also saying, so bringing it back a little bit to what you were saying earlier, do you really think that Arya would have let anyone get close to Jon, even if he was in jail?
Okay, but the Dothraki, where are they going? They're going back on the other side of the river, on the other
Maybe.
side of the sea. Well,
We have no idea.
yeah, but if John would have been like, oh, I guess I'm just gonna chill here in fucking King's Landing, some shit would have went.
well, I don't think he. In terms of Jon going back to Winterfell, I think him staying in King's. He didn't want to be in King's Landing.
He doesn't.
I thought that Sansa should have been like, all right, he's coming back with me to Winterfell, and I don't think anybody could have stood up to that and be like, no, fuck that.
First of all, what have we learned through the series already? When he was King of the North, when they tried to annex themselves already, Jon did not want that power.
Well, no one said he had to be king. You just didn't have to fucking send him off in the
They
fucking.
weren't gonna. No one would have been cool with that. Everyone would have been nagging him. Why aren't you king? They would have obeyed him. And he is the eldest, even though he's a bastard.
He's the rightful heir.
He
to
would
the-
be like
to
an
the
heir.
throne.
They voted him king of the North, and if he had come back to Winterfell, he would have been acknowledged as king of the North.
He's not even just. He's the king of the Seven Realms.
If
He's the rightful heir.
if everyone knew his identity, but not everybody does. And him coming back, he's coming back to a position that he doesn't want.
But-
Being the Night Watch, he gets to be whatever he wants.
Well, I mean, you're right. It could have been written better. I totally get it. I mean, like I said, they kind of sped things up a little bit too much in the season. So, I mean, I concede that they could have done it better.
But
He could have just. I think it would have been better if he just if they would have basically pardoned him and he just decided to leave anyway.
yes,
Yeah.
I would say that. However, I hear where you're coming from, but I definitely did feel somewhat that Jon was kind of a rob of a decent ending. I guess for the character of Jon, this is his happy ending. But I felt that as a lover of the show and an audience member, I wanted something for him to be better. However, the way that it panned out, I'm not like egregious about it. I'm not super upset. I'm like, okay, this works for Jon Snow. It doesn't really work for me, but I can see how this works for Jon Snow. Just like people felt that Daenerys' character changed overnight. I'm like, y'all weren't watching the same show, but what happened to Daenerys, y'all got to admit, we saw coming. A while, every one of you saw this coming.
Yeah, no,
Don't try to play that. No, Daenerys was gonna be cool, sit on the Iron Throne, fuck her nephew, and have a bunch of Cyclops kids and shit like that. Rule the realm with her fucking dragon. No, that wasn't gonna happen.
It's just very meh to me. I mean, Arya's decision is she wants to go be Christopher Columbus and go west of Westeros, which she'd mentioned before and stuff. But
Yeah, somebody I was reading somewhere that somebody was like, "Oh, that doesn't seem like her character." I was like, "She's literally been traveling for like fucking 6 seasons. What the fuck are you talking about?"
yeah, her marrying Gendry would have made no sense.
Yeah, that would have been. See, that would have been weird. I would have been like, what? If she had been pregnant with Gendry's kid, I'd have been like, oh
That's a little
shit.
too crazy for me.
Yeah.
I would have been like, oh shit.
What I saw at the end of this whole season, the whole series, in fact, is that it's really opening up more pathways to the spinoffs. Because we all know there's going to be spinoffs, and there's definitely at least 4 or 5 different spinoffs from this last episode alone that are possibilities. One of the ones that I definitely want to see is where's Arya going, but apparently they have no plans for spinoffs with
Squash
Arya.
that, yeah.
yeah,
so that's-
they shot that
so
down real quick.
There's petitions with like this show changing the season. No, there should be a petition to have Arya get her own show.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
Yeah, I believe that because that's a positive. That's a positive thing.
Yeah.
That's something like new content and the continuation. I don't think we're not going to see sequels.
I would sign a petition for them to resurrect Joffrey.
What the fuck?
I need that humor in my life.
I'm actually rewatching his death scene. That shit was hilarious.
He's still the best king.
He's one of the best villains ever.
Yeah.
I thought Ramsay was really good too. He's definitely not the best.
Robert was the best king.
We
As
don't
far
know
as
enough
kings
about
go.
his
You don't know enough
legacy.
about. Yeah, you do. You know enough.
We didn't get to sit enough screen time seeing.
He kept his shit together. Anyway, we have another possible series with Tormund and Jon Snow. That's another spinoff that could happen. There's plenty of other spinoffs that are out there that could happen, and
That could. I highly doubt that we're going to see that though. I won't. The ones that I know that they're planning are like prequel stuff.
Prequel to what?
Prequel to the show.
To-
Like we're talking hundreds, maybe even thousands of years before what happens on the.
but they said there's 4 or 5 prequels. Are there 4 or 5 spinoffs? So there can't be 4 or 5 prequels. That'd be fucking stupid.
It would be,
They
but
need to have at least 2 of them need to be, going forward, whether it's years in the future or just like days in the future.
Yeah. I can see something with Tyrion, because I think Tyrion's got a nice little cash cow with his role as being attached to that show. I think Sophie Turner, she's starting to get that Jennifer Lawrence kind of money in terms of her being cast for these other roles. So I don't know how much interest she'll have in still being.
She deserves it though.
Oh yeah, she deserves. She's great. Yeah. And it's a shame that they're not going with the whole Arya route, because I think that would be something everyone would instantly tune in for.
Yeah, that's money wasted on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I don't think I don't know of anybody that thinks that Arya is not a good character.
She's good.
Yeah,
Really, really, really.
even though it was weird seeing her naked, like side boob anyway.
Yeah.
That was weird, but she's still a great character.
And I want to see. I mean, it seemed wasted that she didn't use her face changing skills and shit outside of killing Frey and everything. I would have thought she would have used some more ninja assassin stuff rather than just teleportation.
And that's why she's dope. I want to see more of her skills in play.
Yeah, exactly. Even and then I forgot about the burn book that Brienne wrote for JB.
And Brienne,
He got a little
has
dick.
the best pussy.
yeah, Brandon Tart, Jamie Lannister said this is the most bomb-ass pussy he's ever had. Better
there
than
a-
thirsty bitches.
You know, it'd be great if she was pregnant.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Is there a Game of Thrones game?
There's plenty of them, but there's nothing like not a serious.
Yeah,
thing.
Yeah, there's actually one by Telltale, and there's like, I mean, there's board games.
yeah.
I don't call them games though.
Oh, there's a Monopoly game.
There's Monopoly. There's a Risk one. I have the Risk one.
I'd see maybe Sony or somebody picking up this and making it into a game, like how they did with God of War. Because I feel like that would be kind of the same, mainly just like graphic wise. I think that would fit. Those two would fit in together.
So apparently, George R. R. Martin has been talking with From Software.
Oh, okay.
So that would be those are the guys that make Jesus Christ, the Dark Souls games. So they're talking about doing
So it'll be
like
impossible to beat.
I think if they use the controls and the engine for what was it, Shadow of Mordor and the Middle Earth games like that, that might work.
That's a great game. Yeah. Great game.
So yeah, that was our Game of Thrones recap for them.
So I have a question for you guys. So now that Game of Thrones is over, are you gonna continue your HBO subscription?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not mine. It's someone else's. So I don't.
So you never have to begin with. I mean, I have the ultimate package for PlayStation View, so I'll always have HBO. So it's part of the package. So there's plenty of other shows that are coming up that look interesting to me, like
Watchmen for me.
yeah, Watchmen. And
I definitely want to.
was it My Dark Materials or something like that?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Westworld's coming back.
Westworld's
not
coming
till
back,
next
yeah.
year though. Y'all see that trailer?
I saw pieces of it. I haven't seen it all the way
There's a
through.
full trailer with Aaron Paul.
Well, people are totally tripping that, saying that, oh, Game of Thrones is done. I'm done with HBO. HBO produces some really good fucking
content.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty. I mean, what's great about their app is you can watch everything they've ever made
Yeah.
all on one spot.
Still on there.
Yeah, you can't really do that with
Not
Netflix.
everything.
Is there something missing?
Real sex is not on there. Fucking bullshit.
Yeah,
That is
they're
kinda bullshit.
slipping.
Yeah. Real sex is like one of the greatest shows of all time.
Yes.
Real sex, but they have like what 30 some odd odd episodes. I mean, they're only
Seasons.
they're only half an hour episodes.
Yeah,
So,
but they're really good. Like if you don't have a kink, you'll find one on that show.
Yeah. It's funny. Like I last week I was in the barbershop and I was talking to my barber. And I don't even know how we got on the subject of real sex, but we started talking about that. How like, oh yeah, I remember being a kid watching that shit like late at night, like learning all the different kind of shit. Cause one of my favorite episodes is when there's like a sex therapist. I think she was based out here in San Francisco, and she was teaching chicks how to give blowjobs. So they all had like fucking dildos. But the funniest scene ever was when she she opens up her dishwasher, she pulls out the dishwasher racks, and just fucking rolls and rolls of fucking dildos, and she just got them clean. I was like, God damn, she was the best.
I've been watching Chernobyl on HBO.
heard that's all fucked up.
Oh man, just a quick little synopsis for young heads. Chernobyl actually really fucking happened. Shit, it was like 1986. There was this like nuclear reactor that exploded and everything inside its core, and the uranium, plutonium, whatever the fuck bad radioactive element was exposed and everything. There's a fire that happened. Russia tried to cover it up because Russia fucked up and they were doing some sort of like safety test and shit that they shouldn't have been doing and everything. And pretty much a whole fucking massive area got exposed to this radiation. And the show pretty much it's a 5 episode series. It's about an hour long. First episode is pretty much the incident that happens, and it's fucking crazy. It's like cringeworthy because it starts off right in action. It's like boom, this explosion happens. These people in the control room trying to figure out what's going on, and there's the idiot boss telling all the fucking employees, go check it out, and they're coming back to like, the reactor's on fire, it's exploded. Well, it can't explode. You're an idiot. You go check it out or whatever. Meanwhile, they're going into the fucking reactor and shit, and I'm just like, oh my god, he's dead. And they have like they have no concept of how dangerous this fucking radiation is.
But back then, I mean, it was basically an unknown.
Exactly.
Yeah, which is dumb because this is way past World War II.
Yeah, this is 1986.
It's 40 years later.
These people are just walking in stuff. They're just picking up these like radioactive fucking things. And they're like, ow, that's hot.
This kryptonite? What the fuck?
Yeah, and they're just getting completely fucked up left and right and everything. And then they start trying to cover up for it. They bring in this nuclear physicist who's dealing with like this stubborn ass fucking Russian government that just wants to be like, oh, everything's fine. The fire's out. And he's like, we dumped all this boron and sand on it. He's like, that's a problem because now it's going to heat up and it's going to melt into the earth and it's going to go into the water. And when it's in the river, this area will be uninhabitable for a good 100,000 years. Blah blah blah. So then they have to. The only spoilerish thing that I'll get into is they had to prevent because there was still like cooling water in these tanks that were still full. And they're like, we have to, in order for us to prevent another explosion from happening, and they showed like I guess the disaster zone, it was going to go all the way out to like Germany and shit. They had to send this 3-man team of people that worked there into this like flooded area underneath the reactor in like all this radioactive water. So pretty much it was a death mission and shit. And they just have to go in their suits because obviously it's 1986. They don't have like robots or drones they can fly in there. And they got to like walk and slush in this water and empty out the cooling fucking systems and shit. And I'm just like, no fucking way.
So that happened actually recently in Japan.
Yeah.
So they had like old Japanese men. They went in there to actually to stem the tide of nuclear waste that was happening in Fukushima.
Yeah.
And they're done. They just basically committed suicide.
Yeah. And
I wonder if they like paid off the family or whatever. Like if there's some kind of catch to them going down there.
They probably did, but I mean, if you're gonna save people and because they said it was just older guys, because they were like, if you're young, don't do it. And there's just a bunch of older people who are just like, well, I'm near the end of my life, I can do it.
Yeah, they sat all these Russian like workers. There was maybe like 40 of them. And they're like, this is the job that needs to be done.
Yeah.
And whatever. And he's like, well, are we gonna die? And then the head Russian government dude is like, yeah, but you're gonna do this for your country. Blah blah blah. I'm just like, fuck that shit.
What network are you watching this on?
It's on HBO. It's on HBO, and then they have to get. It's like disaster. They kind of sort of semi-fix, and then there's another huge, massive problem. So now they have these like coal miners that they got because they need to do something underneath the fucking reactor again before it goes into the water supply. So they're like, I mean, we've seen like coal miners in like West Virginia. They don't care about fucking shit that they're breathing in. No. These are like Russian coal miners, so they really don't give a fuck or whatever. And they're like, it's hot in here. We need fans. They're like, you can't have fans because that dust is gonna fuck you up. And he's like, well, fuck it. We're hot. So he just starts taking off his clothes. He's like, we don't need any protection anyways. We're gonna die. So they're fucking like digging these holes by like hand because they can't use any heavy machinery because it's like the ground's too unstable and shit. It's just people on all kinds of death missions and shit.
God damn.
And you see like the people, like the original people that were first at the scene when it blew up, and then the firefighters that were touching shit.
Ooh, the firefighters. They say most of them, the first responders, they died.
They're like goo. It started to die, but it's pretty much they're goo now. They look like some fucking. It's like their skin is literally melting off, and like they're in the hospital and shit.
It was melting off because the temperature and the radiation melted their skin. And what's fucked up? They didn't tell them what they were going into.
Well, no, they didn't. They just thought it was regular ass chill fire. They're like, oh, we'll just spray some water on it or whatever, and it'll be all good.
For the first guys they got there, dead.
And they're saying like the physicist explains like all the shit that happened. It's like pretty much your cellular structure breaks down, your insides pretty much
liquefy.
They liquefy. You can't give them any morphine because there's no veins and shit. So essentially, and they're like
fucking death.
There'll be a 2-day period where they'll be kind of good and they'll be pretty much decent. And then after that, pretty much the blisters will start popping and shit, and they'll just pretty much they'll liquefy from the inside out. And you start to see these people like literally just look like fucking slush monsters and shit. Just
like some shit out of a movie.
It's horrible. Like I had to stop watching. I was like, it's gross, but it's so fucking good. Yeah, so good.
We were talking about this like before the podcast even started, but basically like nuclear power is kind of insane because it's one of the safest forms of power to get, but it's also one of the most dangerous because you can't turn them off.
It's safe, but it's dangerous.
Yeah, well, no, it's safe as far as like it's way safer than coal, right? As far as if you gotta like for like accountable deaths, like nuclear power is safer than coal. But it's not fucking safer than solar power. And it's not safer than fucking
solar power is safest
because the stupid ass right wing people say that shit. Oh, it's not safer than solar. I'm like, no, solar power hasn't killed nobody but fucking birds, and it's only birds are only in like the desert when they're having like these huge solar arrays that concentrate light beams into a fucking like this crazy laser thing. Yeah, hydroelectric power. The only time it kills anybody is if literally a dam breaks. But that's it. But nuclear power is kind of retarded because it's just a fucking big ass steam engine. Like all it does is just like these radioactive things that can't cool down, that heats up water, that boils the water, and then it spins a turbine, and then the water gets cooled down, or the steam gets cooled down, turns back into water, and then it gets put back into the same water to cool down the radioactive material again. So it's like the most ghetto fucking dangerous steam-powered engine ever that you cannot turn off.
But I think all of our power is that way. Like even coal burning, it heats up. But I mean, I'm saying like that's how it works. Like they burn coal to heat up water to turn a turbine.
Yeah, it's
what all comes down to turning a fucking turbine.
Yeah, it's real dumb. But nuclear power is just. They need to figure out a different way to harness the actual nuclear elements and like to harness the heat rather than water boiling and then spinning something, and then because that water is super radioactive.
Yeah. I wonder if they can use salt, because that's what they use for the solar arrays. They have like malted salt in there that heats up, and they run that. Well, I guess they run that through water too, so that causes steam. So the same fucking thing.
The thing is with solar power though, solar doesn't. Even though technically it's radiation that humans can live with. I mean, unless you get skin cancer, but it's not radioactive as in like putting out fucking gamma rays or some shit like that. That's gonna kill you within days.
Well, I won't become the Hulk.
No, you'll get cancer.
They're like literally like, what do I need to fix it? Like, we need all the liquid nitrogen you can get in Russia.
But it won't help.
Yeah, they're like, that's the only thing we can think of or whatever.
Yeah, I mean,
freeze it.
The fact that you can make a region uninhabitable for a millennia or more is.
I wonder what happened if you throw that shit into a volcano. Like, would the world just fucking blow up? Like,
well, you'd have a radioactive volcano. That'd be awful.
That would be really awful.
Because it would cover, if it exploded, it would cover a vast region and like probably massive, like a mass exodus would happen to like.
It'd be nuclear winter.
Well, probably for like a good, depending on where it was. everyone like in a huge radius should probably be evacuated like south.
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say people talking about immigration right now. Woo! It'd be worse if there's a radioactive volcano.
The future power is just literally harnessing the sun and then power storage. You spit batteries basically. If we have
Cold fusion.
No, she doesn't exist. Or
I know it doesn't
gets you
exist.
killed.
Killed it. If cold fusion exists, that'd be. Yeah, if you knew it, you'd be killed. You'd be like Keanu Reeves and fucking Morgan Freeman in Chain Reaction, running from the government.
Yeah. All right. So let's move on. I want to talk about Rage 2 because I didn't talk about it last week. And it's actually a pretty decent game. I think that it got low reviews for some reason. I don't know the reason why it got low reviews. They got sort of mixed, or they got mixed reviews basically. And I'm really enjoying this game. It's the first Rage game was not that great, even though I liked it, but it wasn't great. The color palette was kind of dull. The gameplay wasn't that great. This one, they put in a bunch more color, a bunch more shit to do, and they have probably arguably one of the best shotguns in video games of all fucking time. Like, I'm usually not a shotgun guy in video games, but in this game, the shotgun is my shit.
Not even auto shotties?
No.
Really?
No, because the range sucks.
Yeah, I never use shotguns in games either.
Yeah, Close Encounters, especially Division, they have two different auto shotties.
And they all suck.
Oh, I love them.
No,
especially the one with the drum. I'd be fucking people
You're
up.
talking about the AA-12, this garbage.
There's an AA, well, no, not the AA-12. There's another one. There's another auto shotty that's really good. I like it.
But the range sucks on shotguns.
Oh,
All
yeah.
right.
But I use it close range. So
But in this game, they fixed that problem where you have this thing called a combat shotgun, and when you shoot it normally, it shoots like a normal shotgun, and then if you zoom in on somebody, like to aim in, it concentrates the shot, and then it hits it like a concentrated slug, and it blasts them back from like a pretty far away range.
Yep.
So you can do like crazy amounts of damage from pretty much any range with this fucking shotgun. It's my go-to weapon in pretty much the entire fucking game. I'll use it until I run out of bullets and I'll use something else. Because it's just, and you can upgrade, in this game you can upgrade basically everything. You can upgrade everything that you have, all your weapons, all your vehicles. You have basically fucking superpowers in the game. You can double jump, all kind of crazy shit. You can move around really fucking fast. It's a fun game, and I don't know why it got such mixed reviews. I think it's just because the first Rage wasn't that great, I guess. But this one is definitely a lot of fun. The only thing that I have a problem with is when you're driving, your vehicle is kind of slow, and you have to use boost all the time. But other than that, it's a lot of fun. Like going through and like clearing out bandit camps and shit like that. It's a lot of fun because you have so much mobility in the game. So if you guys got a chance to like check it out, if you use Gamefly, you should probably use Gamefly for this game to see if you like it or not. But if you go to gameflyoffer.com/BTI, you'll get a free month of subscription service on us. And this is a great game for that because you can play the game, see if you like it. If you like it, you can pay for the used version of it, and they'll send you the box and all that shit. And you can keep it. And I like it. It's great. So.
What would you rate the game?
I'd rate it with a 8.5 easily.
It's multiplayer, right?
No, it's not. It's only single player.
Really? I could have sworn the first one. Well, I don't know if the first one was or not.
How's the animation or the graphics on the game? Is it like...
So people complain about the graphics,
cartoony?
But I like the graphics. No, it's not cartoony. It's not cel shaded at all. It's pretty realistic. There is some problems with frame rates. I'll tell you that shit right now. Because I think the main reason why this frame rate drops is because there's a lot of shit going on, and when you start going crazy with like your powers and your guns and like running around, it's just like a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Like, so I have the PS4 Pro, and it's still like sometimes it has to crunch down the frame rates to like deal with what I'm doing. And even with PCs, it is the same thing. I think it's one of those games where it's kind of like, it's how you know you're at the end of a life cycle for a console when you have frame rate drops, 3+ years in. Like, where the next generation's coming, because...
Well, that's kind of a good sign. That means developers are trying to push the consoles as far as they can go instead of just kind of doing the norm. You know what I mean?
But the PC has the same problems. Like, they have similar problems where if you have like a lot of shit going on, the frame rates will drop. But it's not so much to where it's unplayable, but you'll definitely fucking notice.
Right on.
But when you have like crazy ass explosions, like there's times where like I'll be running around, I'll kill like 5 dudes in the span of like 3 fucking seconds, and I'll hit I'll throw a grenade and then shoot like a fucking tank full of gasoline, and the explosions is fucking fantastic. And to like deal with all that shit on the screen, it's like it slows down a little bit. So.
Oh, that's fucking crazy.
Sounds interesting.
Crazy thing, real quick. So remember how I mentioned how we should throw the nuclear rods or whatever into a volcano?
Oh god.
So I found an article on Popular Science from 2010, and apparently a volcano isn't hot enough to melt the nuclear rods.
Jesus Christ.
You need it basically says you need an atomic bomb to destroy nuclear rods and stuff like that.
You need nuclear power to defeat nuclear power.
Yeah. It's something like crazy. Like if you threw it in there, nothing would fucking happen. It would just fucking sitting there, and like that'd be it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just thought that was crazy.
That's interesting.
I wonder if it would boil magma more.
Yeah, right.
Oh, shit.
Make the earth hotter, and everybody's fucking up dying.
We all die. We want to keep it on some gaming?
I've done I was actually able to play one of the raids today for Division 2. What are you shaking your head for?
Because go ahead, but it's basically like if you want to like fucking self-torture yourself.
If you need a lot of teamwork.
Is it that hard?
It's just with 8 people, communication is paramount.
Yeah, you really need a squad that you're good with. Doing just an 8-person random is
fucking mess.
Because 8 people, there's always one idiot that just keeps talking and thinks he's in charge and all kinds of shit, and it just becomes a big ass shit show. It's not like the regular battles when you're fighting the boss, where it's sort of like, all right, you just pump him full of bullets, or when he does this, hit the weak spot here, whatever. It's more complex to defeat the fucking boss, and he's got the healing stuff going on, and there's a bunch of random fucking Foot Clan soldiers running around fucking you up and shit. So there's a lot of moving parts to beating at least the boomer one that I fought.
Yeah. So the raid has, I guess, 3 boss stages. So it's in 3 stages. The first boss is what gives a lot of people trouble. And with 8 people screaming about, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to have this kind of build, you need to have this going on. Like, yeah, your build is kind of important, but what's more important is communicating what needs to be done. If not, you're gonna have players just running around and everyone goes down one by one.
Yeah, because there's these 3 little rods, or 3 sort of things, towers, I'll call them, mini towers, that you got to shoot down in order to weaken the shields for the Foot Clan soldiers or whatever, to even take those guys out. To do damage on the boss, you have to hit them with even to take the towers out, you have to use the turrets. That's the only way you can knock down these towers, is to use these like 3 mounted turrets that are there. The boss will come in, and he's like one of the big like sledgehammer wielding dudes.
I call him Fat Boys, but he's got a minigun.
He's got the minigun.
These guys are assholes.
He's fast, and he fucking swings that motherfucker, and he's got like a charging plate on his chest. When the charging plate's a certain color, then he heals up, but in order to attack him, you have to like look at one of the screens on the TV and shit, and then that's what fucking which chain gun you need to fucking hit. It's complicated. And I was like,
wow.
Yeah, there's stages. It's like well, I don't want to say it's like a Destiny raid, but a lot of people compare it. But there are a lot of moving parts. Like there's indicators on, like Stitch is saying, there'll be a letter on these screens, and you need to go to a console to access that particular laptop or whatever, and it'll help you weaken the
healing factor or something.
Yeah, it'll help you weaken the healing factor so you can get hits in. However, if you are not on point with your team, he heals all the way up, and his armor comes all the way back, so you're back to square one.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the one thing that can get you to that point, which are the turrets, he can destroy.
He can destroy the turret. So if he destroys all 3 turrets,
you're
it's game over.
It's game over.
Yeah,
it's
it'll
a wipe.
say like mission over.
Yeah, it'll say squad wipe.
Yeah, because he'll go after the turrets once he figures out that turrets are fucking me up. All right, no more turrets, and he'll go over and he'll start trying to wail on him, and you got to be like, no, chase me.
Yeah,
so you got to get him to fucking chase you, and
you got to get him to aggro on you.
I usually use the turret as bait.
Well, there's a problem. Using the turret as bait, he will stay on it, and the turret has a life, and it's not a lot. And once he breaks it, that prevents you from doing like.
And then the randos soldiers are out running around. They just keep respawning from doors, and they'll snipe you and shit like that. And they're crazy overpowered. You can't take down the soldiers until you use the turret on those fucking 3 towers that are around. It's a multi-layered onion of shit you got to do.
And
Which is
the soldiers they're not like the Reds as they call it. They're either veteran or elite.
yeah.
And there's
they
like
got
a
the
lot of
5
them.
little things of the armor or whatever.
Yeah, so they're purple or yellow, all of them, and they will run in all throughout the fucking map.
Yeah.
And you need to work with your team to like get it done. And that's just the first boss. Like, even before getting into the boss area, you got to fight your way in. And there's like a horde of them coming out. And like, if people aren't communicating there, I think that's a good indicator if you get through without people like fucking up. If like half the team goes down before you enter the airport, because this takes place at the DC airport, or I guess it's fictional airport, but whatever. But that's a sign. It's a sign on how well you're going to do inside. If you can't communicate trying to get into the airport, you're fucked.
So wait, are you playing against AI or are you playing against other
It's all
players?
AI.
Okay.
You can play against other players, but not in the raid. The raid
is just
8-player co-op to get to the end.
All right.
What's fucked up is like it took people hours to get through it, and on PC, the PC players are the first ones to get through. It took like a day or two. It took like a day or two.
It took 5 hours.
Yeah, but it took a day or two for
dying and replaying.
PS4 and Xbox players to beat it. And by then, the PC players were beating it in 24 minutes.
Yeah.
Because we're better.
And it gives no clue on how you're supposed to defeat the dude or anything like that. You're just
there's no guide.
Yeah, you just gotta figure it out. Yeah, and I don't know how I would have never figured it out if I didn't see like a YouTube video or something on Facebook be like, this is how you need to pay attention to this. I would have just been running for my life and trying to fucking shoot. I'm like, oh, there's a turret here. Maybe the turret worked. Nope.
Was it as hard as the raid in Destiny? What glass? The glass raid or something like that?
Vault of Glass is tricky, but once you have, it's just like this. If you do not have a team that can communicate, you're not passing it, no matter what. Once Destiny had a bunch of updates, if you are like a certain level, you can pass the raid in 15 minutes, really.
And I was part of the party that I played one time, and we all knew how to take out the last boss by getting him out to the edge and getting him to fall over.
Yeah, they fixed that. And then
they fixed that. That shit got really hard.
Yeah, and then they added different levels to that, so you can play it on normal, where you can blow through it. That way, you know the mechanics of the game, and then you can put it on hard, or I think on heroic, to where it's like at a super hard level, but the loot is better.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty fun.
But so far, I played the raid. I spent like an hour or so on it, just having people screaming at me like, "Oh no, this needs to be done here and there," because I didn't know.
Were you able to play with all American people?
Yes, they're all American.
Okay, because I was playing with some
most of them were East Coasters,
French and fucking Australian. I was like, I can't even.
Oh, so
couldn't understand what the fuck they were saying.
This is your problem because you were playing late at night.
I was playing this morning.
You were playing this morning? Well, wait, when you first played, though.
But that makes sense, too.
Yeah, when you first played, if you're playing late at night, it's like early evening for them.
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh.
Well, if you're playing early in the morning, it's nighttime for them.
Yeah, that too.
They're like, oh, I got to go to bed and get for work. I'm like, it's 11 o'clock here.
Yeah, no, I was playing with a lot of East Coasters, and I was playing at 5 o'clock. It was like, so it wasn't that bad. But some of the people, they knew how to get in, but then once we got in, their plan to take down the boss did not work at all. So we were fucked on like the next wipe. We were like, well, let's try this.
Yeah.
None of that shit worked.
Yeah, I don't even fuck with the boomer. I tell them, I'm like, I'll worry about the NPCs. I was like, y'all just tell me when the towers are down, so that way I'm not wasting bullets because they're immune or whatever. Yeah. And I just try to stay the fuck away from that.
I mean, I had a couple of theories on how to work, and people tried it and they said it didn't work. So I was like, fuck. Because I was thinking that it depends on what skill sets that you're using. But it does depend on what weapons you're using. Like LMGs apparently work the best.
Yeah, I switched over to LMGs.
And then just coordinate with your team. Like I said, like if you're having teammates running around, not participating, either taking down the ads or doing DPS on Boomer, the first boss, then they're not contributing to the solution.
Yeah.
So that means there's a problem with communication there, or someone who thinks that they can one-man it or something. No, you didn't fuck that.
Nice.
So
You mean Leroy Jenkins?
Yeah.
Woo!
I was so that was all in my head the entire time when they were strategizing that shit. They're like, "Oh, we need the DPS people here, and you two people, first squad will deal with the." I was like, "Oh my god, this is fucking hilarious! This is exactly how it happened." Oh man.
Yep.
So I was gonna say, so Kronos had not seen John Wick.
Well,
first of all,
you want to talk about something else before that?
Well, no, I wanted to bring up, so we got a little bit of information, since we were talking about games, we got a little bit of information regarding the PS5 a little bit this week. So Engadget had posted up a little bit of details that Sony had leaked out for the new console. So far, there's no release date or pricing or what games were available, but a few of the details that they did offer is that there's going to be an all-new CPU and GPU. The GPU is going to be customized by NVIDIA.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be behind it.
No, I thought they had announced that, but okay.
Well, this is from this week.
Okay.
It's not going to have a hard drive. It's actually going to have a SSD drive.
Oh, yeah.
Is that what the PS4 has it now, right?
No, that's still considered a hard drive.
But it's not a spin drive or
it's not a spinning
solid
disk.
drive.
Yeah, solid state drive is the best.
Yeah. And then it's apparently it's going to be backward compatible. So they're really hoping that, you know, with it being backward compatible with the PS4, will let people be able to switch over to consoles and still be able to play their still favorite games. So
you'll be PS4,
the constant thing they always say.
I'm
PS5.
anyway.
PS5 players will be able to pay with PS4 players.
I'll be able to play with?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was the big announcement today.
Okay.
Another thing is that it's going to be 8K, it's going to support 8K, but it's not going to be true 8K. It's going to be like
ain't nothing going to be released 8K at that time.
No, yeah, I mean it's fine. It's the same way that the Xbox One and the PS4 were 4K compatible. There's hardly any 4K content out there at the time. So
yeah. I mean, I guess it's nice that it's ready, but we're not going to see it at launch.
No.
We'll see it like a year later if we're lucky.
Honestly, I don't think that 8K is going to do that well. I think 4K is like the max that people are going to put up with as far as clarity goes, because you're unless you're getting a very large screen, you're not really going to enjoy the benefits of 8K unless there's some new technology like HDR has, for 4K. Because there's going to be, it's just you're just putting in more pixels onto a cramped ass screen. It's like putting 4K on your fucking cell phone. Like it doesn't really matter. People that think it matters, you're fucking stupid, because you're just cramping in way too many pixels onto a small screen that your eye cannot discern. Anyway, go ahead.
Another fact for the PS5 is that it's still gonna support disc. It's gonna be a disc-based console, but they're gonna be leaning more toward the digital downloads. But they're still gonna offer the option to have a disc console.
Listen, y'all, keep buying discs. Don't deal with this fucking DRM nonsense. It's not ready yet. I keep telling everybody every fucking year, we're not ready for fucking digital only games. Like, if you think you are and your fucking shit fails, or Sony goes out of business or some shit, and all of a sudden all that money you spent is fucking gone because you can't play your games no more. If you don't think it happens, it happened to me twice. Happened to me twice.
Speaking of which, something is discontinuing. What the fuck?
The Ujua?
Yeah, Ujua. That is being discontinued in the 27th of June.
All them digital games, guess what's gonna happen?
All gone.
Can't play them no more.
Yeah.
The other thing is too is that like you can't sell your game. So like if you're a baller on a budget and you like to rent or not even rent, but like trade in games or buy used games, like that wouldn't be an option if all games are fucking downloadable.
Well, I mean, the only way to do that is with this, but yeah, it'll be weird, especially if you like try to sell your console.
Yeah, that's true. But
I mean, you can wipe it, I guess.
Hopefully they don't do that whole E3 or not E3 EA thing that they fucking did, where you had to like have a code to be able to play the game. So they try to keep it from people from being able to sell the game, and so if you were to get the game, you have to buy a new code for that game so you're able to play it.
Yeah, that didn't work out very well for EA.
They sure the fuck didn't.
It did not go.
But yeah, that's all that's been released so far regarding the PS5. But they're really hoping that E3, which is next month, we'll get to learn a little bit more about the PS5.
I thought Sony's not going to E3.
They're not.
They're not?
No, they're not. They're skipping.
For like the last couple of years, they've been doing their stuff at like PAX, right?
PAX East, PAX West, one of them.
Okay.
Or actually GamesCon, because that's supposed to be bigger. But there's been some stuff released at GamesCon.
Wow, this is actually saying that Sony's going to be at E3. Oh no, it says it's skipping it.
Yeah, they're skipping E3.
Guess we will not see it at E3. Yeah. Why would the fuck would he? Yeah,
Because they didn't go last year. I don't know if it was a couple years, but I know last year they didn't do it as well.
I actually think that the reason why Death Stranding is, why we haven't heard so much about it is because it's going to go on the PS5.
Probably.
You know the previews that we saw. I mean the graphics and stuff look pretty fucking crazy. So I would imagine they're waiting for
Dude,
the
whole
PS5.
game looks crazy. It looks like some weird Cronenberg Metal Gear Solid
and shit.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on? I have no idea what the fuck. It just looks weird, but whatever. Well, I'm taking a wait and see because I'm assuming
I'm buying it day one.
it's probably. You think it's going to be? What prices do you guys think it'll set at?
Well, I know
It'd be 500 for
about 500.
Yeah.
I'm saying 500 easily.
Well, how much-
maybe
the PS2 I think was the most expensive of the
I thought
consoles.
the 3 was.
Was it
PS3.
Maybe
PS3 was way more expensive.
3
I
was
remember
right at
something was like
4.
super fucking expensive.
Yeah, I don't think it'll go over 4. 4.5, 450 or whatever.
The PS3. If you had the original one, I think it was 400.
I had to. Yeah. So I remember people were camping out for that. I remember when that dropped. People were camping out in front.
I know. I went like maybe a week later, and I was like, I got money in my pocket. Let me just buy this console real quick, and I just fucking walked out of there, and I was scared because I bought it at it was a PS2. I bought it at not GameStop. It was a electronic boutique.
Oh shit!
The fucking throwback. If you know what that is, you're too young for this podcast, man.
That's pre GameStop. I think.
Yeah.
I think GameStop bought electronic boutique.
But I remember walking to the mall and the box, you got the box and it had the fucking handle with it.
Yep.
I'm walking down, just strutting shit. I'm like, man, somebody's gonna fucking jack me for this shit so bad.
Hilarious.
Sure am. They sure would.
Yeah, I was like fucking like speed walking to my car.
Oh man, I can't remember where I was when I bought my PlayStation 2. I remember where PlayStation 1. I remember I remember 3 and 4 where I bought those and that actual day and shit. And then I get it right when it drops too. I'm like, fuck it, I'm getting it. Can't wait. Put my money down.
See, I brought mine from at 10th Friend Mall up in South San Francisco, I think that's where it is, or Millbrae, somewhere around there.
What
Yeah.
the hell were you doing out there?
Well, I was younger then.
Because when I got the 4, it came with the Assassin's Creed game.
Oh, I just got it for free actually, because I never finished Assassin's Creed, and it was free like a couple months ago. So I was like, oh, I'll download it, fucking play, see it from the beginning, as they say. But yeah, I guess the new hype is the remaster of Assassin's Creed 3. Apparently everyone's all about it, but there's like weird.
It was fun, but I mean, I have no reason to go back and play it again.
There's some weird controversy going on about a remaster and all this other bullshit. Personally, I don't give a fuck. I'm not a huge Assassin's Creed fan, but
All right,
whatever.
John Wick 3.
Bruh.
Oh,
And Millennium. Have you seen it?
I've been saying
First
it.
of all, Stitch was wrong.
I think it was right.
Yes.
No, I'm gonna say you were wrong because it's not a trilogy.
Well, going
Oh,
into
yeah, I
it.
guess that's true.
Going
yeah.
into it,
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, they turned it into a cash cow, but I knew after second, I was like, it's going. Was I not on point
You
though?
know, so Stitch is over here about if you can see him, if you're watching the YouTube stream, he's up here shifting. His head almost blew off. He was like, you about to get stabbed.
Oh man.
Wait, so before you go into that, I just wanted to give the prices for the consoles, the PlayStation console when they were released. So the original PS PlayStation 1 was $300 when it was released. The PS2 was $300 when it released. The PS3 was $600.
Oh, there you
Well,
go.
it depends on what version you got. The 20 gig was $499. The 60 gig was $600. And the PS4 was only $300 for the 500 gig. $400 for the earlier version, 500 gigs. And the PlayStation Pro was $400 with the 1 terabyte.
Yeah, see, I have a PS4, but it's not a Pro, but it came with the terabyte, and it came with Uncharted 4, and it was $400 for that.
I remember
But yeah,
getting
the
the 3.
PS3 was the most expensive of the consoles.
Because I think because I had 2 PS3s because one of mine fucked up. But I think Jamie and I got ours on the same day because it had the 4 USB ports on the
what I
front of it.
got.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fat
I think
boy.
that was the original OG one.
Yeah.
The best one because it's backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has SD card readers in the front.
Yes.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I had to send that in.
The
And
Slims do not have that shit.
it's like it was done.
Yeah,
You know-
once my first one, died, I had to go on Craigslist and find one, and I actually got one for like $250 with games. They didn't even know.
Okay, nice.
Didn't even know.
A little fun fact with the PlayStation 2, if you didn't know this, is that when you can stand it on, you can either have it sit on its base or have it stand up. But what's cool is that you can turn the little PS logo
that's
to make
right,
it fit right. A lot of people didn't know that. At least I don't know. They probably did, but I'm just saying that. But yeah, John Wick.
Oh man. So, I think I liked this one better than the first.
First two or first one?
The first one. I like the first one better than the second one. I think I like the third better than the first. I think. I still need to let it marinate a little bit.
When did you see it?
When did I see what?
John Wick.
I
saw it the day it came out. I saw it on that Thursday.
Oh, okay. I saw it Monday.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw it on Saturday, and damn.
It's so good. So much good violence.
It made me think of Mad Max, because Mad Max was just action packed from beginning to end. There was no fucking story. John Wick is kind of like that same way. It's like there's no fucking story. It's just him fucking killing people.
People were so hyped watching this. Like, it reminded me of when I saw Straight Outta Compton, where people were just like dancing in their seats and stuff and just jamming out. People were fucking getting all hyped up at some of these kills. Like the one where he
the knives,
where he throws the axe.
Oh, the tomahawk. Yeah.
People were like, yes.
Dude, the scene with the knife, he turned that dude into a fucking pincushion. Like he was just.
Yeah.
And then the scene where he's like, yeah,
I was like, yes.
Like the guy's like sitting there slowly falling. He's just fucking throwing knives into him. It's like, how the fuck? So, you know how they say like you can't bring a knife to a gunfight? John Wick was like, yes, you can. If you have a whole bunch of knives, you can bring a knife to a fucking gunfight.
Such good violence.
Yes.
So many. I don't even know how to. It was just like violence porn.
Dude, I had to like. It's rare for me to do this, but there were scenes where I had to like. I actually covered my eyes.
I did also.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I don't want to say what scene it was, but yeah, there was one that.
There's one sequence
in the beginning where I was just like.
Well, no, there was one it's a complete sequence that blew me away, and Keanu Reeves came out and said, "Y'all ain't ready for this scene," and I wasn't. And it's where him and Halle Berry go to work.
Oh yeah,
and she has her attack dogs, and I was blown away,
bro. That was
shit that they did with them dogs. I was like, holy shit.
Those are some bad, and those are those Belgian Malinois.
Yeah, I thought in the trailer I thought they were German Shepherds, but once I saw the movie, I was like, oh no, these aren't German Shepherds.
The Malinois are like shorter haired, skinnier versions.
Yeah, those dogs are badass.
Yes, they are very high energy, hyper. They're like heavy military dogs and stuff like that. They don't fuck around.
The one scene where Halle Berry's like, I understand why you're killing people now. Like, I'm not trying to give a spoiler, where she's like, I understand where you're coming from now. And that's when all hell breaks loose.
Man. Yeah, it was, and he gives her an out. He's like, don't do it. Don't do it. And that from that moment on for the next, I think it's like a 10-minute scene, was the most like craziest cinematic scene I've seen in a while.
Well, what's interesting about that scene was that like whenever like there was parts of that scene where they focused only on Halle Berry's character. Like you didn't see John Wick at all. Like it was just her doing her fucking thing. Like it was Halle Berry being fucking sexy badass. But what's interesting is that I got the impression that she would take on the mantle of like being like, what is it, the boogeyman basically, or something like that. Yeah.
John Wick 4 already announced.
Yeah. It was already announced. Release date announced. Like literally
like
Tuesday
2 years or some shit.
2020 or 2021. 2021.
And then I was so fucking geeked out and hyped when the sort of that last battle where they got pretty much those bulletproof suits on.
Oh yeah. And so that scene reminded me of.
Oh shit.
That scene reminded me of the scene in I think it was like Call of Duty Black Ops where like
puts on the bomb suit.
Well, yeah, where you're running through like the airplane graveyard. And you have those fucking those like juggernauts in the fucking armor, and you can't fucking shoot. You can't kill them for shit. And that's what these guys were.
I was like, oh shit, they're not doing any damage. These motherfuckers just shooting them, and they're getting knocked down because of the blast and shit, because of the impacts, and they're fucking powered up. And then John was like, I just got fucking pull some hoods back and go underneath these necks and shit. I was like, yes, so fucking good.
But then they even get on that fucking. We get to learn that John Wick has like a little bit of I want to say some ninja status and shit. Like, there's a scene where he's fighting against these guys were fucking ninjas.
They're from the raid. Those two brothers are from the raid.
They're from
But no, the three of them. Because there's the one guy.
The two little guys that had the little.
Oh yeah. They're from the raid. I know they're from the raid, but like, holy shit, dude, like John Wick was in that room with fucking glass and shit like that, just walking through, and dude just pops out of nowhere. I was like, how the fuck even get in there?
Oh, Mark the
Like, there's no
Cascos.
fucking walls. Like, how the fuck did he get in there?
Yeah, Mark the Cascos is a good martial arts like action hero. He's a little older, but he could still bring it, and he brought it in this movie.
Yeah, it was so
What was weird to me is that he was funny.
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to be fighting you, John Wick.
We're the same, man.
Yeah, no,
He's like, no, we're not.
what got me is he kept trying to get like advice and critiques, like, "Hey, did you like that? Like, what can I do better?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like,
He was geeking
what?
out.
I was actually kind of a little disappointed that we didn't get to see Common in this one, because like last.
Yeah, I thought he was gonna show up.
Yeah, because in John Wick 2, like John Wick left him on the subway train with the knife wound, where he's like, "Hey, if you pull this out, you're gonna bleed to death, so you might as well just leave it in there and go to the hospital or something like that." So I was expecting him to show up and him kind of be like the final boss.
Well, we might see him. No,
Well, he might be in 4.
yeah, he'll probably be in 4.
Lawrence
Because well, if you think about it, 2 and 3 happens after each other, so Common's probably sitting in the hospital or something like that. Because it's only this happens
Literally minutes.
hour, like not even hour,
Well,
basically
it's-
minutes, because he gives them an hour.
You're right.
Run
It's
time
an
or
hour,
whatever.
and we're at the last half hour of the hour,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah, it started off right with the action.
It starts off with him already fucked up.
Yeah, he's running.
Looking forward to seeing that movie.
Bro,
Dude,
yeah.
it's so fucking.
Get your popcorn.
But like,
Get popcorn. Make sure because there's no pee
It's
breaks.
difficult for me to like watch movies now because I got a kid and like me and Kim like to watch movies together. But we maybe got. Oh, I think we're gonna have a date night next week. I think we're actually gonna watch it. That's what we're doing it for.
Oh,
I mean,
but
we're good.
next week there's a couple movies coming out this weekend.
Are they
yeah.
John Wick 3?
One's Aladdin. You
I
don't
don't give a
think
fuck about Aladdin.
K-Mac doesn't want to see
Fuck
Aladdin?
I know how that hits.
I don't. She can go watch it on her own.
Hey, Chucky comes out this weekend too. Our child play.
Oh,
No,
that is-
Brightburn.
Oh,
is out
Brightburn,
this
that comes
weekend.
out. Yeah,
That one does look kind of interesting, but
that one looks fucking interesting.
it's
Next
all
week is
about John Wick.
Godzilla. I'm seeing Godzilla.
But yeah, this John Wick, man. I have to agree with Stitch. Like, this is the best of the. I mean, it's kind of tied with the second one, because I like the whole thing with the car, him trying to get the car back, and like the cool scenes with the car and stuff like that. But
Can you rewatch
the
it?
fact that, sorry, this is a little bit of a spoiler, but I think they show in the trailer, but this motherfucker uses a goddamn horse as a goddamn weapon.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, how the fuck you do that?
I
Like,
don't
what the
trust.
hell?
As soon as I saw those, I was like, watch. I was like, this is gonna be. I wish Lilo was there because she knows I don't like horses. I
Yeah.
don't trust horses. They're dangerous as fuck.
They can be. Yeah.
They are. They be killing jockeys and shit
Yeah,
just
but
because
I
they
mean-
fall, and horses
they're-
don't give no fucks.
Yeah, but that used to be our mode of transportation as humans.
I don't think the horses were happy with that.
They're not happy with it now. Like,
Yeah.
horses are dying all the time on fucking
Man.
racetracks and shit.
You never see me walk behind a horse ever again.
God dang.
And, yeah.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't walk behind a horse. No,
When I
I'd
even-
walk alongside it.
Yeah, well, it don't matter. The horse does what the horse want to do. I mean, they use a lot of times for like crowd control.
Oh yeah,
Especially like
I've
you've been
there.
in Mardi Gras and everything.
I've been there.
Yeah,
I've
that's
seen
how they
it
clear the streets.
I've seen it in multiple cities.
Yeah.
Mardi Gras, Atlanta,
Yeah.
San
Even here in San
Jose,
Francisco, they have I think,
San
horses.
Jose.
Well, one interesting thing I thought was with the horses is that at first I was like, how come these horses aren't freaking out with all this fucking gunfire going around?
Yeah,
but
they
then I'm
should.
like, these are like they're the horses that walk on the street all the time. So they're probably trained to have like loud sounds and shit around them, so they don't. Because you get like cars backfiring, loud vehicles.
You fire a
people
gunshot next
screaming.
to a horse, that horse
That thing's
gonna
gone.
Yeah, that horse
That
gonna
horse
kick.
gone.
It's gonna fucking.
No,
Yeah,
you
I mean-
can train horses though to like deal with like a lot of shit.
Well, these are just like regular like city tour horses, like the carriage buggy horses and shit
Yeah.
like that. He's fucking like doing circles around it, firing shotguns under and underneath it and shit like that. I'm
Yeah.
like, that horse ain't down for that shit. But it was so good.
But I actually really enjoyed Halle Berry's character in that. I think this is probably my favorite film of hers. I mean, other than the one where she gets naked. What's that like?
I thought she was gonna be in it for
Monsters Ball. She's naked in that.
No, he's talking
Swordfish?
about Swordfish, yeah.
Yeah, when she's.
Well, she's gonna get totally naked. She shows her tits though.
She's totally naked in
Right.
Monsters Ball.
Well, she's getting fucked. in Monster Ball.
Well,
by
she's
Billy
totally
Ray.
fucking naked in that
Billy Ray
fucking
Cyrus?
film.
That was his name?
No, it's Billy Bob Thornton.
Okay, I was close. I thought it was Billy.
God damn it! You put that fucking. I for like 2 days I couldn't get that fucking Old Town song out of my fucking head.
I still have never heard it.
Oh
haven't heard
my
it?
God.
Oh, they're playing.
They did a video
they're playing
for
at
it.
the Cubs.
I
Yeah,
know they
official
did.
video.
I saw, I did. I clicked somewhere else. It's fucking great. It's fucking great.
That's what it.
God.
That's what it officially got stuck in my head. And when I saw that video, I was like, "What the fuck is this shit?"
Well, yeah, the video is bad, dude. It's like you can
It's
tell
hilarious.
that it's not like they don't like. You can tell the guy is an amateur. He doesn't know how to do a fucking video.
See, the video version I liked is the one where they use the Red Dead Redemption scenes.
Wait a minute, you're talking about the official video?
No, that's
The
not
official video's
I
got
haven't-
Chris Rock in it.
What? I haven't seen the
Wait,
official
does?
video.
Yeah, there's an official. Yeah, the
The official video just came
dropped a couple
out.
days ago.
Yeah.
Just came out.
Wait, I thought.
Chris Rock is it. There's a couple other, one or two other stars. Well,
Obviously, Billy Ray.
Yeah, I think. I guess I didn't
He
see
goes
how
through
way
a
through.
fucking time machine and shit, and he pulls up the horse in Compton, and he's just fucking. Everyone's just like, "What the fuck is this dude?" It's a funny video. I have to watch it. Like do a react. That'd be a good react to do.
So,
I don't react.
have I told you my story about how I met Billy Ray Cyrus?
Yeah, you did when you were in Iraq.
Yeah, you
On
did.
a podcast?
Yeah,
On a podcast?
yeah.
Okay,
You
okay.
told it 2 episodes ago.
All right.
Which
Like
was
you're-
cool because you didn't just meet him. You met someone else too, didn't you?
Yeah,
his
man,
daughter.
Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
And Anna Kournikova.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's when you're in Iraq and you were like at the gym or some shit like
Well,
that. Right?
I was in the PX trying to buy some shit, and
Okay.
Miley Cyrus and Anna Kournikova, they skipped the line, and I was like, who the fuck are these bitches?
Yeah.
Because they had like security with them, and I was pissed. And I walked outside, and that's when I saw the dad, but I didn't know who the fuck he was. Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious. So what do you give Wick 3?
I give it a 9. The reason I give it a 9 is because I thought this was the end, and apparently it's not.
Yeah.
We're getting a 4th one, but it's like, once it was over, I wanted more. Like, I wasn't satisfied with how things went. I wanted more fucking killing, so they're gonna give us more killing, and I'm happy for it.
Yeah, I said 9-3. If they had just been done, I would have been completely fine with it. But they understand, they know what's butter in their bread, and people are paying money to see these at the movie theater, so they're like, fuck it, make a 4th one and everything.
Yeah, because it dethroned Endgame for I guess
After-
weekend
it's
budget.
3-week run, but I mean,
But yeah.
Yeah, they need to stop. They made all the fucking money. Like, come on.
Yeah, fucking Endgame's at 2.7 billion
Yeah.
or some 2.6 billion.
But no, well,
Something eventually will dethrone it. Like
Yeah.
whether
Yeah.
it's the Smurfs or John Wick.
what I was gonna say that I know that Pokemon dethroned it in Japan in a game, but that's fucking Japan. So
yeah.
what did you give it, Danger?
I'm gonna give it a solid 9. There was only like a couple, like maybe one issue I had with it, but the scene with the dogs, that
Yeah, dog scene was cool.
I was in awe, really, and I was just like, oh, I mean, Endgame had an amazing fucking fight scene because it had like all the characters and whatnot, but this was like practical. Like these dogs were just putting in work, and I was just like, and they were doing nut shots like all night, and I was like, what the fuck? How do you even? I mean, okay. I mean,
I can't wait to buy the DVD and see like the training
Behind the scenes. What
behind
did
the
you?
oh, so you can watch
it, yeah.
you can watch part of it. Actually, it's on my Twitter.
Well, I saw some of her doing the gun work.
Yeah, there's like
doing the
this-
move and shoot.
3 guns.
Course. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a video with Holly Berry doing the course, and she's fucking killing it. But what's cool about it is that Keanu Reeves is there, and he's the
Yeah.
one that's like, all right, go. Because early, like, I think for John Wick 1 and 2, you see a video of him doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah, he does.
But the fact that she's like killing it is like, wow, Holly Berry's got fucking gun skills. I mean,
You can learn how to do everything they do. You can learn how to do pretty
Yeah,
easily.
you just put in time and work. You can.
but my question is, should you give a crazy person a gun?
Damn, no. Well,
Everybody knows crazy. Holly Berry's crazy as hell.
Is she crazy though?
There's a lot of crazy
Crazy
people out
fine.
there.
yeah, there's a lot of crazier.
That's the other thing about Holly Berry. The older she gets, she still stays fucking hot.
Like fine wine. Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna wrap it up, or we're gonna? Oh no, it's pretty early.
We gotta talk
we
about.
stuff to do.
Yeah, I guess want to talk about this. This one's dear to my heart, and
Is it Loquisha?
oh no, it's not that one.
Oh, I
know that
know.
one.
I know where you're going.
So it was somewhat announced that Robert Patterson, aka
Pattinson.
sorry, aka what's it? Jacob? He's not Jacob. It's
Whatever. I don't know what the
so the dude's gonna be
Twilight.
apparently
Twilight.
playing Batman.
sparkly fucking vampire.
I know him from Harry Potter.
Yeah,
was
but he
Cedric
dies in
Diggory.
that shit.
He does that.
So yeah, so
Edward Cullen.
Edward, that's what it is. Yeah, that's true. So
read the
what's his name? Not Matt Damon. I always get the two
Ben
fucking
Affleck?
confused. Ben Affleck is out for the next Batman, for the Batman movie, and so they've been out there recasting. And Robert Pattinson.
It's Pattinson, right? It's
It is
definitely not
Pattinson. There's an I instead of E.
Yeah.
Patterson.
Like
no,
Pattinson.
Pattinson.
What?
Pattinson.
This says Patterson.
It's
It's mistyped.
It's mistyped. Yeah.
Okay. It's not just me. I thought I was reading it wrong. But yeah, so apparently they have him to be Batman, but he's kind of still up in the air because also another person is going to might play Batman.
Yeah, the guy who plays Beast from the X-Men film.
Yeah.
Recent X-Men film.
Well, I know that I've seen a lot of memes about people saying that, people that are complaining about, Robert Pattinson playing Batman, they're only complaining about him playing one role. He played one role like literally fucking 5 or 6 fucking times, and they're all terrible.
Yeah, but then again, so I actually took that into account. So like Twilight came out like about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And I watched one of his recent movies called Good Times, where he plays like a New York, like not Jersey Shore, but like a tough guy and stuff like that. And I actually did not like his acting. Like people was like, oh, you should watch his acting because, this is him being like in a dramatic role and stuff like that. I didn't like it at all. Like the movie was decent, but his acting was kind of garbage, to be honest.
Like I don't base it upon just that one, even though multiple movies. I mean, he wasn't great in Harry Potter either, but don't get me wrong, I'll give him a chance. I mean, there's been other Batmans that were not great. Like people want to say, look at what Christian Bale. Was there a big backlash? Actually, no. There actually wasn't that big of a backlash.
Yeah, there was not one.
People just want to make that shit up, but when Christian Bale was announced as Batman, nobody had that big of a backlash about it. So
I don't think people knew him at the time.
I mean, I knew him.
I did too. So I was like, okay.
Yeah, people were fine with it. I think that people are just like they're pretending that people were mad about Christian Bale being Batman, but literally maybe like 1% of the people that are Batman fans had a problem with it.
Like for me, like I had a problem with Ben Affleck being Batman, and it came to be true. I mean, he wasn't that great of a Batman. I mean, he had the look and like kind of the charisma, but he just didn't bring it for that role. I mean, it could have been maybe more of the director's like take on Batman, because
and he killed people. So,
well, yeah, there was that he was killing people, and then in Justice League, he like the graphics, or I guess the not his acting, but like the special effect that they used was horrible. Like there's basically a scene where he comes swinging in, but you can see that he's like it's almost like they copy and paste them from being high, swinging down and dropping them down into the scene, and all of a sudden he just stands up. It's just horrible editing.
Well, and there's also the fact that people seem to just pretend that the role of Batman, as far as in movies go, it's 50% at best. As far as like the actors go, we have Michael Keaton. He was good. Mm-hmm. Christian Bale was good. The rest of them were not good in the movies. They were not good. But
yeah, I mean, like we had not Michael Keaton, George Clooney. We had
terrible, and fucking what's his name?
Oh God, his name's on the tip of my tongue. I just lost it.
Yeah, I forget. He's fat now.
Yeah.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer. Yeah. They were not good Batman.
No,
so
they were
people
not.
to sit there and be like, oh well, they're all good. No, they were half of the time they were terrible. So, and I continue. This trend will probably continue, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I'll wait till the movie comes out to see if he's actually Batman, and then if he's a good Batman, because the last Batman that we had was not good.
Yeah.
The two before that was not good. The one before that was not good. So, I mean, come on, get the fuck out of here with your pretend outrage bullshit.
So I'll give him the only reason why I give him a benefit of the doubt because with and everybody's been mentioning this too, is that with Heath Ledger, like everybody gave him shit about being the Joker. Like, oh, what the fuck? He did just Brokeback Mountain, blah blah blah, and he came out and fucking killed it. He was like probably the best Joker of all time.
He did, but that one Jerome guy did a pretty good job too.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he did a really good job.
But with this character, like he's gonna have to definitely bulk up, you know. Because this guy is fighting villains. He's always like working out and this and that, so he's got to put on the weight. Because every time I see Robert, he's a small frail guy, and people have brought up the whole fact that, you know, he's had body issues in the past, and like everybody should give him a break. It's like, no, you're going into a fucking iconic role, and his character is muscular. Okay. Like, you have to be muscular too.
I'm glad you brought that up, but here's the other side of that. All right, so listen, Christian Bale, he went from being the Machinist, where he weighed literally like 130 fucking pounds, maybe even less than that, to being Batman, where he weighs over 200 pounds of basically pure muscle. So definitely Christian Bale, as far as I know, is he's gonna put more into a role, because he's definitely a better actor than Robert Pattinson.
He's a method actor. That's why he went that way with it. Yeah,
so I don't think that if anyone wants to argue that, go watch any of other Christian Bale's movies except for Terminator. Watch any of his other movies. He's a great actor.
Even like in Vice, like he put on hella weight for that role, and I thought it was a fat suit, but apparently he put on that fucking weight. Also in
he's fat in
American Hustle.
Yeah, American Hustler or American Hustle. Yeah, it is American Hustle. So he got thick on that.
So I mean, definitely you can, you know, hire a personal trainer, put on the muscle, learn how to, you know, do choreography and all that shit, and you can do it. But at this time, it's an unknown. So that's why I said I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. But as far as historically goes, as far as Batman actors go, it's 50-50. It's a fucking literally a shit show with that character.
Yeah. And I don't like how people are saying like, oh, you need to watch his acting, blah, blah, blah.
No.
I think a lot of people who are bashing him is because of his, I guess his look, because he doesn't kind of fit, because I think he has like red hair or something like that. I mean, he can obviously dye it or whatever, but he doesn't have like that physical physique. I think that's one of the big things that people don't like.
I think it's still the hate from fucking Twilight.
But it's warranted, like, because he literally did 1, 2, 3. He did 5 fucking movies of the same character, and they were all terrible.
It's interesting because if you go back and like he's done interviews and he says that he actually he hated doing that role. Like he said it like out, like words from his mouth. He said how he hated that role.
He didn't hate the movie. I mean, he didn't hate the money.
Yeah, he didn't hate the money.
God damn, the 5 films made over $3 billion.
God damn.
That's a lot of fucking.
I mean, there's a lot of girls that like this shit. There's all about it.
And I can honestly say I watched it, but I watched it to see how bad his train wreck was gonna go.
I've only seen the first one, and I'm like, oh, I tapped out. Well, nope, no more.
This goddamn sparkly goddamn vampire.
I literally read all the books. It's terrible. But listen, I was in Iraq at the time, and I needed something to read. So it was whatever like were long series. I was like, all right, I'm gonna read them.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just funny. It's funny to me is that the 50 Shades of Grey series spawned from Twilight. Because I think that's fucking hilarious.
Are you sure?
The 50 Shades of Grey stories are fan fiction from Twilight. They were rewritten by whatever EJ, whatever her name is. Look it up.
I've never heard of that before.
The 50 Shades of Grey saga is based off of Twilight fan fiction.
I never read 50 Shades of Grey. So.
Yeah, so the original author, she was making it, and they told her it was good, but you can't use the Twilight characters. So she rewrote it to be 50 Shades of Grey. So all of her books are basically based off of Twilight. It's hilarious.
I don't know.
Hilarious.
You say so.
I know.
I think it's hilarious.
I wish there was times in my life I wish I got those hours lost from fucking watching those series.
Oh, you watched all of them?
Sadly, yes.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I only watched the first one because it was my niece's birthday and she wanted to watch it. And the second one, I waited till it came out on fucking bootleg and watched it. Then I was like, hopefully this got fucking better. But then I kind of got roped into watching the third one.
All right. So Stitch, did One Punch Man get any better?
No.
No.
Dang.
No. The last episode was better, but it fell off a fucking cliff. I was happy that the fucking main character was in it more than 45 seconds, But I mean, I don't care about all these other people like Genos. I don't even think Genos was in this past episode.
I didn't see last week's episode.
Okay, if he's still at the fucking fighting tournament and everything, he fights 2 people at this tournament. So I'm like, oh, great, good, because they're like, oh, he's in the quarterfinals. I was like, oh my god, it's gonna be 3 weeks till he gets to the fucking finals now.
God damn.
Fucking ridiculous. But he ends up fighting the fucking. So now he's into the. They sort of wrapped up that storyline because there's like I guess a one kick man guy that's there that's knocking out people with one kick, but they've been on such far ends of the bracket and shit like that. And then they'll show all these other matchups between these other things that no one really I don't fucking care about.
I feel like filler to you?
Yes,
that's insane because usually you don't see filler in Japanese anime that has seasons, like legit seasons. Like you usually don't. That's the reason why they that's how they get around filler.
Yeah,
because they make seasons.
They keep it going. Yeah. It's just baffling to me.
Well, with the way that season 1 ended, it almost got to the point where it's like, who can defeat Saitama? Like, there's nobody out there because he fought like a goddamn alien species that actually was able to take one of his punch, and then he had to fucking get serious and shit. Like, shit went down. So I have the impression that this season was going to be him versus the other fucking hero, even like the number 1 hero.
Like, I enjoy his fucking dry humor.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't have to be going around punching shit or in these crazy like anime fucking super battles. I enjoy when he's just like, ha,
yeah,
that was cute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He says that he's all,
oh yeah. I love his reactions to shit. Like, I could watch 30 minutes of that without him like actually getting into a fight. Just him doing his random ass world shit or whatever. But it's just so fucking just off the wall with all these other side characters. Is like Watchdog Man is they introduced. Metal Bat was kind of cool, but fucking it's like I'm not invested in this character that you just threw out on the fucking screen as soon as the episode started. I'm like, okay, he looks like a dog and I guess he can fight well. Why is he fighting this dude? I don't know, but they're just fighting. All right, cool. And then we go back to Saitama at the fucking tournament.
Saitama.
No, it's Satsuma. What are you talking about?
Satsuma at the tournament.
Sashimi.
It was better this episode because like they spend more time with the fucking main character. But it's still like dreadful, really, really, really fucking dreadful. I was just bored and I was like, oh yeah, I guess a new episode came out. Let me go try to watch it, and it was whatever.
Yeah, I gotta catch up on Attack on Titan. I missed the current.
Oh, it's so good.
I missed the current one. Oh wait. The last one I saw was there at the Colossal Titans like throwing fire in houses everywhere.
Yeah, you're behind.
Yeah, so that was the last one I saw, and then they were basically just gonna charge the Beast Titan and have Levi try to take him out, and it ended with Levi on his way to the Beast Titan.
Oh wait, was
that the most current?
I think it is. Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was a new one. Yeah, that was the last one I saw.
No.
Basically, they're like Levi and Erwin were all like, well, we have all the
all gonna die.
Yeah, we're all gonna die, and we have these kids with us who aren't that great fighters. So how do we convince them to give up their lives for this last assault? Because we're probably not gonna get out of this. Yeah, okay. I thought there was one after that.
So now that we're on anime, if you are in the Bay Area or you're outside of the Bay Area and you are going to Fanime, we are doing a panel for Fanime for anime villain appreciation, and it's going to be on Friday night. I think it's the 24th of May.
It is 24th.
Yeah, it's at 8 o'clock in panel room 3.
Oh, wait. Isn't Thursday? Let me double check real quick on the date.
It's definitely Friday.
Yeah, it is Friday, but the date.
Pretty sure it's 24th, right?
24 is Friday.
Okay,
yeah,
there you
it's
go.
2 days from now. Yeah, Friday?
Yeah, there you go.
All right. So, yeah, we're going to have a really great discussion on anime villains. I'm not going to give away who we're going to talk about, but they're going to be good ones. And then we're also going to have like honorable mentions, which are going to be some of the newer villains. We're going to go we're going to have a couple of newer villains and a couple of old school villains, and it's going to be great.
There's prizes, I guess.
Yes, we're going to have giveaways. We will have a bunch of like free swag for people that give us the best questions and just giving shit away. So it should be a lot of fun. And yeah, it's gonna be me, the Breaker of Oaths, and Blue.
Your boy Blue.
We will all be there and we'll actually have a PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Y'all appreciate it.
If you are listening to this before this event happens, which is very close, make sure you can bring either rotten or ripe tomatoes and heads of lettuce for the Oathbreaker.
Cabbage hits harder.
Yeah, you can wet it, but they have water bottles, so you can buy it and water it down. And make sure you bring that for the Oathbreaker.
Yes.
That way you can chuck them at him. Every time you come up to the mic to ask a question, be like, "This is for you." And flat.
Boo that man.
Boo this man.
Boo. But it'll definitely be a fun panel. Like even after we talk about everything we want to talk about, we'll have plenty of time for questions, plenty of time to bring up your favorite, villains and stuff like that. So I'm super hyped because I think this is one of the first times where we actually put in some advertisement into one of our panels, and so far is from what I've seen, we should have a good turnout.
Yes.
So we've had good turnouts in the past before.
Oh yeah.
We've had some surprising turnout.
Shit.
Like the last panel
Y'all here to
that
see
we
us?
did. I was like, holy shit, this room's way more full than I thought. Because there was that one we're in the small room, we filled the room because it was hot as fuck in there.
But this one, it might actually be more than the room can contain. So it might be standing room only. So we will see. Because I still have a campaign going on right now until the panel goes. So yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking interesting. I'm super excited about it, and the fact that they have a new for Fanime, they're allowing panelists to have they have laptops you can borrow, so you can connect that to a projector or whatever. But I'm probably bring our own.
We'll bring our own.
Yeah.
But and we'll be recording the whole thing, so I'll bring my my camera set up. I probably won't bring the speakers, but I'll definitely bring my camera. I have one facing towards out and one facing towards us.
Nice.
You bring your laptop, I'll bring mine. One to record, and then I'll have one recording video and stuff.
Yeah, sounds good.
Should be good.
But yeah, you have to wait till Friday at 8:30, right? Is that
Friday 8?
8, okay.
So,
8 o'clock. Do we know what room?
Yeah, it's panel room 3.
All right.
So I don't know exactly where the fuck that is, but if you go to Fanime, just ask them for where panel room 3 is, and they will let you know.
Y'all should be. We should be on the program list.
Yeah, definitely be on there.
Yeah, and then also this is kind of 2 months in the future. Here is me and Old Ninja will also be at San Diego Comic-Con.
Ooh, it's gonna be fucking crazy.
Yeah, we don't have a panel or anything going on, but we're definitely going to be there. If you want to meet us in person, you'll get a chance to do so. I lived in San Diego for more than 10 years, so I look forward to going back and hanging out with y'all. And so I'll be doing more things than just being at Comic-Con probably. I know that me and James Gavsey's going to be there as well.
He's always there.
Yeah, we're going to hang out with him and his kid Rex. So it's going to be a great time.
It'll be good. There's going to be good eats. We might run into Ron Jeremy again. There's going to be stars everywhere. It's going to be crazy. Hopefully, we will probably...
You guys have any interviews lined up?
Not yet. Because the actual who's going to be there is not out yet.
Yeah.
So, because actually, me and James are trying to figure out what we want to do for the event, and I was like, the event list isn't out yet. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what to do generally, because where I want to go in San Diego County. But as far as who I want to interview and all that stuff, I just don't know because the list is not official yet.
Yeah, because if the Winona or cast and crew is there, we may run into them and they know us. Yes. So that could turn into some craziness also.
Want to talk to DPC again.
Oh yeah, she's great. Yeah. Well, I've talked to Melanie. She knows who we are, and she's the only one who is hasn't been on the cast. So we just got to set that up eventually.
Yeah. All I gotta say, if you guys are in what's it? I think it's the Hilton Hotel where they have a lot of the main interviews.
Yeah.
And if you have to go to the bathroom, go in there. You might run to a few celebrities in there, like your boy Blue did. Yeah, I ran to 4 celebrities. I'm like, what the hell? Yeah.
Hilton, the Hyatt, they're gonna be all over the place.
Yeah, but no, this was because the interviews right there in the meeting rooms and stuff like that. But I went to the bathroom because I had to go, and apparently celebrities have to pee too.
So what some people probably don't know, especially if you're not in the SoCal area, a lot of people that live around there already know, but there will be events outside for the public that are free. Yeah. And there'll be a lot of them.
A lot of them.
A lot. They fill up that area. There's also other hotels that will have either free entry or very low cost entry. Like you're talking like $5 to get in, and you'll experience like part of the con. Sometimes there'll be panels like in the middle of the street. Also, they will shut down the downtown area, and just you dining out, you could run into famous actors and actresses.
Yeah, so in 2011, I've never been to Comic-Con proper, but in 2011, Brendan Small, who's the guy who did Metalocalypse, he announced that he's going to have a
boat tour or something like that.
Well, he had a concert on the USS Midway for Death Clock. And so you could only sign up for it on Facebook, so I did, and I got in. I got a free ticket. I literally rode my motorcycle down there on a Thursday, rode down there and fucking watched him on that Friday. It was dope as fuck. It was like one of the most fun concerts I've ever been to, because it was It was Girl Talk that he was the opener. He's like a DJ, and then right after that was Brendan Small with Death Clock, and it was dope because it was like a preview of his new album. It was amazing.
I don't know what he's up to now.
Well, he's
probably doing music, but
yeah, he did another Galacticon 2 album because he lost the rights to Metalocalypse.
Oh, that
yeah,
sucks.
I was like, damn. But Galacticon 2 is pretty much Death Clock album, so.
We rounded?
Yeah.
We have a couple B than BTIs, and they're related. So, it's a Warrior fella. He asks, what's the best TV finale you've seen, and what's the worst TV finale you've seen? Who wants to go first?
I would say the best would probably be The Fresh Prince, when the whole room was empty, and then they like left. It was sad as fuck.
Yeah, all the furniture was moved out.
Yeah. That was a great send-off.
Damn.
So we'll go with the best first.
Okay.
It's hard to beat. I need to start cheating.
I just thought about
it.
Blue? While Stitch is still working?
Shit. The first one that came to my mind was Eureka on Sci-Fi Channel, because it ended the way it started. So in Eureka, like the scene where the sheriff and his daughter is going into Eureka for the first time, they drive by a car, and he looks over to the car and he sees himself and his daughter in the car. But then fast forward to the end, like the last episode in the season, they're leaving Eureka and the same fucking situation happened. So it's almost like they went back in time and they like crossed paths, but like everything kind of worked for that. I just thought it was a really good ending.
I would just I have to go with Fresh. I'm trying to think of like other shows that like I watched from like beginning to end and was really invested in, but yeah, Fresh Prince by far. Lila was watching Saved by the Bell or whatever, and she got to the last episode, but it was kind of just lame. They just graduate high school, but then they fucking end up going to college.
Yeah,
got dumb and shit like that. So yeah, it's Fresh Prince, from what I can remember.
Shit,
can't even remember like Cosby Show how that one ended.
I don't remember.
Besides him going to jail.
I was gonna say, Quaaludes.
Damn.
Yeah, everything got fuzzy.
Damn, there's a lot. I mean, some of them just ended abruptly because they were canceled. I would say the X-Files, but then they tacked on 2 new seasons, because season 9 was their official end, which tied up mostly everything, which I was content about. But now they have 2 new seasons. Shit. I'll say Alias. Alias had a nice little wrapped up series finale where it pretty much had a happy ending and kind of restarts the cycle, as like some of the series do when they end.
I would also throw out there, oh god, what's the name of that show? Damn it, the name just slipped my mind. It's the one where the dad travels to another dimension to steal the guy's son, and he brings him back into his dimension. And they use like the whole floating tank and stuff. Fringe, yeah. That one had a dope ass fucking ending.
I forgot about Fringe.
Fringe had a great fucking ending. But for me, I would say the show that had the worst ending is How I Met Your Mother.
Really?
Yeah, just because, sorry, this is going to be a huge fucking spoiler.
Oh, wait, I know why. Yeah.
So yeah, huge fucking spoiler. So we go fucking like maybe 5 or 6 seasons and trying to find out who this mom is or whatever. Turns out she fucking ends up dying. He ends up trying to get with Robin again. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what? Damn it. But there is another, they actually released a different like ending where, you know, how things work out with the mom, and that one was a lot fucking better. But yeah, the mom dying of cancer and shit like that was so fucking stupid.
Wow.
Huge spoiler, but that show came out like 10 years ago.
There's a few of them. I know. Oh, actually, I think the Oathbreaker would probably say Battlestar Galactica had a good ending. He probably liked that
That
one.
had a great ending, even though people were just like, it was kind of almost like Jesus. It was almost like a religious thing because it was
Almost.
like they populated the earth.
Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay, I guess.
But
So
I
we're all
loved it, though.
Cylons.
I still like it though.
Yeah.
No, we definitely were not all Cylons. 'Cause there was humans there. What the fuck?
Yeah,
wrong
there
with you?
were.
Did you even watch the
But-
show? Ninja?
Yeah, I did watch the show. I watched it at Oathbreaker's house.
All right.
I know a lot. Even though I was okay with it, a lot of people hated it. Lost had like an ending that everyone fucking hated.
I think you're lost.
Yeah, well, Lost had an ending that it didn't tie up everything.
I didn't even make it.
You didn't make it to the end?
No.
I made it to the end.
Once
and-
they stopped answering questions, I was just like, so where the smoke monsters at, bro?
See, they don't fully explain the smoke monster. They don't fully explain like the island's first inhabitants,
Yeah, nah, fuck that.
which they show them, but it's like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah,
is
somebody
this?
got snatched up by a smoke monster in like fucking first season.
Yeah.
I was like, what happened to them? What are they doing? Like,
Yeah.
they never explained it.
And then the kid had a what's his name's son had like a special connection, but they never explained what that was. So a lot of people hated the.
So
end
that's
of
your
Lost.
best or your worst?
That's the worst.
Oh, okay. So my worst is actually recent, only because I know it's done, is the Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh yeah.
Because it was so open-ended that there's supposed to be another season, and apparently they're not making another season.
Oh, that fucking
Made me
sucks.
fucking angry because the last episode was so fucking open-ended. I wanted to see more stuff about this show, but we're not going to get it.
Damn, that fucking sucks. So it was like third season, right?
Third season, yeah.
I would go with Entourage. I was a big fan of Entourage on HBO, but it just got a little bit crazy, and it just kind of didn't. I just completely lost interest at the very, very end. What's his name? Falling in love with the porn star.
Are you talking about Sasha Grey?
Yeah.
That's when I started watching. I'm like, what is this?
That was all
Sasha
bad.
Grey's on this show? She shows all of her bush, like unshaven and shit. I was like, oh shit.
That's when it jumped shark.
Oh man. I mean, but Sasha Grey though,
Yeah.
he was all about it because he let her roam the house naked and shit. Everyone's all like, is that Sasha Grey? She's like, hey guys, my pussy's out.
Fucking stupid. Yeah, that and then there's another HBO one I was thinking of, but
True Blood. Because a lot of
True
people
Blood,
hated
yeah,
True
yeah.
Blood's ending.
True Blood.
I mean, Sopranos had a bad
Oh
ending too.
no, I
apparently.
got it. Dexter.
Oh yeah, where he's
Dexter's
dead but not dead.
Yeah, Dexter.
Nice.
Yeah, as soon as and the sister and brother are falling in love. You remember that when Deborah was having feelings?
I haven't watched the show, so I don't know what the fuck you're talking
it was
about.
bad.
But
It
that
actually
sounds
turned out-
that sounds like some Lannister shit.
It was. I was like, this is just getting fucking ridiculous. So yeah, Dexter.
But isn't his sister like his actual wife though in like real life?
Yeah, but
That's all bad. That's even worse.
That's even worse.
yeah, she was annoying.
That sounds like they like probably pandered for that. They're like, we need to have love scenes. We don't see our kids enough. We don't get to like do this. We need this in the script.
Yeah, I just completely toned out that show.
Why would they even
Same,
cast
like
him?
kind of like how I'm at with Walking Dead. I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on in Walking Dead.
Yeah, I
Walking Dead is still going though.
Yeah, I stopped watching. Somebody told me you need to come back and watch it. It's
Yeah,
getting better. It's
apparently
getting better.
they
but-
rebooted the series. Apparently,
yeah, but I'm like, fuck that. I'm done.
Don't care.
I'm not. I want to see how Morgan and the
But you're talking about
Fear the Walking Dead, how he goes. Because when I was watching, he's supposed to leave that show, move on.
Yeah.
And I guess there's a transition, so I was right about there. So I plan on going back and figuring out because most of the shows that I was watching are done right now. Like Legends is done, Arrow, Supergirl, Flash, they're all done. It was kind of weird. Did you finish all of them, Blue?
I watch all of everything except for Arrow. I'm like way behind on Arrow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm a season behind on Arrow.
Oh shit! This current season actually isn't too bad.
Yeah, this season I haven't watched.
It's actually pretty decent.
But this season of Supergirl has actually been pretty decent.
Yeah, there's a lot of political shit in season Supergirl.
Yeah.
It's definitely way better than than season 2.
Yeah. Well, my main thing with Supergirl is I like that actor who plays the Patriot or whatever. He plays Star Killer.
Sam Witwer.
Yeah, that guy.
The Apprentice.
He's a really good actor. Like
Yeah,
I like
The
every
Apprentice.
movie that I've seen him in, or TV series I've seen him in, I've always enjoyed. Like he was also in Being Human.
Yeah, he is.
And,
He's the American version of Being Human.
Yeah, and he also was he played Doomsday in Superman. Or not
the voice
Superman, in
of
Smallville. No, in Smallville.
in Smallville?
Yeah, he plays
Yeah.
Doomsday.
So if a lot of people who may not know him, he's probably the way I met him, because I had no idea who the fuck he was playing Star Wars: The Force Unleashed.
Yes.
Where he's the apprentice, and Lucasfilm still has him come back to do projects. Like he does the voice of the Emperor Darth Maul in the Clone Wars. He came back to do the voice in Battlefront 2, and then like you said, he's on Supergirl now. Like Lucasfilm still gives him like work, even though like he's doing other projects. They'll like, hey, can you come in and do this, be this character? I won't be surprised if he's in the new Respawn game for like a quick minute. I would not be surprised at all.
Well, he'll definitely be in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, which is the next Crisis they're going to have on this CW show.
They were hype. They're pushing Crisis so fucking hard. The one that goes hardest, even though you haven't caught up, is Arrow. Arrow goes really hard with Crisis at the end of its season. So that's going to be a huge, and it's going to be fairly early on. I think the 5th episode of each of the series will be Crisis.
Yeah.
So it should be interesting.
All right, you guys ready to wrap it up?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, Stitch, what you got? Crack-a-latin, pop-a-latin. Who you jerking off to this weekend?
I don't have a porn star or whatever.
You got no porn star?
Not that I can think of, or whatever fuck you were trying to categorize porn star, sex worker the one week.
That wasn't me. That was your boy Oathbreaker.
The girl that does porn, but not whatever.
Oh, that was Blue.
I didn't say
put
she didn't
that on
do
me.
porn.
See?
I was I got to rewind the tape on that one.
None much. I bought tickets to go see Jeremy Piven's stand-up. He's the guy who plays Ari Gold on Entourage. He also played in Old School. He's the dean.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
I didn't know he did stand-up.
He's in Smoking Aces.
He's in a lot of shit.
Yeah, he's fucking hilarious.
Isn't he in Ballers? He's in Ballers for a quick minute. He's season 1. He's like in it for a minute.
Okay, he could be. I've always enjoyed his work and stuff like that. He always cracks me up. Him and what's it called? Vince Vaughn always were able to make me laugh when they were doing their funny routines and shit like that. So going to see him in SF in August. So I bought tickets for that. Wanted to get, obviously, I kind of, when I go to like sporting events, I try to sort of be kind of like a seat snob, try to get close to the fucking front. I know you don't do that during comedy shows. It's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah, you sit in the back where he can't see you.
Yeah, so
You can talk shit back. Fucking defend yourself.
Nope. I just sit there quiet, let that man do his work.
I've been
try to blend in.
I've been in a group of people and we got roasted. Yeah, so we went to go watch this guy. His name is, I can't remember his name, but he's like the bulldog of comedy. And I went with the Sweetness and 2 of her lesbian friends. And yeah, this guy, he went off on them. It was like, come on, man. Oh, yeah, that's fucked up.
I went to one comedy show maybe like 2 years ago in Fresno. It was when, what's it called? Charlie Murphy was still alive. He was touring with...
You didn't visit him dead?
well, Cedric the Entertainer. What's it called? The Spanish dude that always goes...
George Lopez?
George Lopez, and I forget another guy. But they were pretty funny.
Gabriel Iglesias?
No. Black dude, skinny guy.
Dave Chappelle?
No, I don't know Dave Chappelle. Fucking, he was in that Undercover Brother.
Eddie
Griffin. Yeah, I saw them a couple years ago, and they were pretty funny. So, but that was at like an arena in Fresno. So this one's at a little more closed kind of event, kind of, or it's like at an orchestra hall or some shit. So, it'd be pretty cool.
All right, old ninja, what you got? Crack-a-latin, pop-a-latin, jacking off in?
There's this game that just finally came out of beta. It was released yesterday. It's called Dauntless. I guess Epic designed it. It's basically Fortnite meets Monster Hunter. I'm going to check it out. I'm going to try to tweet out me trying out the game like in the next day or so. Playing more of the Division because I have both my characters now are raid ready, but I still want like more gear and whatnot to see if I can pass it. There's this new spot that opened up in the South Bay. They've been open for like a week or two. I'm going to check them out tomorrow. There's a lot of movies coming out, but the first one I'm going to see is Brightburn. So I'm going to see Brightburn tomorrow night and try to give my review next week if there's enough time or whatnot. I think that's about it. Yeah.
Cronus, are you checking about anybody out this weekend?
Oh, I forgot about Porn Star of the Week is Elsa Jean. There you go. Little blonde chick, takes a lot of dick.
All right. Yeah, this weekend I'm looking forward to doing the panel with the Breaker of Those and Blue. That's going to be a lot of fun to see all you people live and direct. What else is going on? I'm also doing I have it on my schedule, another workout video with my boy Peter. If y'all want to watch that, I'm going to record it on Saturday morning if I don't stay out too late on Friday night, hanging out with y'all for the panel. Other than that, I mean, not much going on. I'm looking forward to getting my oldest daughter here in June and then going to SDCC in July.
Blue, what you got?
So I'm super hyped about this fucking panel. It's gonna be so much fucking fun, giving away prizes and everything. Talking to all the fans out there about anime and everything like that. Saturday, one thing for Fanime, if you want to try to find me, I'm actually gonna be out there taking pictures. I don't know. I'll definitely be wearing a Batman shirt. But if you hang out, what's the name of that bar? That the Tarzo?
Yeah, we go there all the time.
Yeah, if you go to Tarzo,
I don't think it's called Tarzo.
It's not called Tarzo. It's called Tank.
Yeah, Tank. It's Tank. It's TANQ.
Yeah.
You can probably find me in there grabbing a quick drink, and I like to get a quick drink before I do that thing. But Saturday I got a photo shoot with a cosplayer, and then Sunday I'm actually doing a fucking wedding, y'all.
Oh shit!
Like I always told myself I'll never do a wedding, but my uncle asked me last minute, like, hey, I got these friends, they need a photographer. I mean, I'm getting pretty good at fucking. They're getting it for a really good price, so yeah.
There you go.
But I'm doing that on Sunday. But I'm looking forward to it. Getting out of my comfort zone. But yeah. So take us out of here, old ninja.
Damn. So you just witnessed the dankest podcast on the internet. We are Be the BTI. That's BTHANBTI. You can find us on Player FM, Stitcher, SoundCloud, YouTube. We're Black and Black Times Infinity. Check out our official website, binhatproductions.com/Be the BTI. We're also on Twitch with twitch.tv/Be the BTI. And then on Amazon, we have an app on there. You can pretty much find us anywhere there's a podcast. Look for Be the BTI. Look for us. We got you. Just don't break any oaths. Don't do it.
Once again, we'll be in panel room 3 for Fanime. 8 p.m.